and just kind of got on the bogey train, ends up shooting a pretty rough 78 yesterday. But today he's actually gotten it back. He's been out there early, and as we have kind of been talking, he's been doing okay. He's 2 under par on his round today, 5 over par for the tournament, and he's got a pretty decent look at birdie on the 11th hole, it looks like. So Tiger is in good shape there. What we're all waiting for, obviously, is still the situation about the FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Is he coming? 47 of the top 50 are coming. We do not know about Francesco Molinari yet.
Today's the day, I believe.
Ricky
they
Fowler,
have to let us know.
Today is the day. Ricky Fowler or Tiger Woods. Today is the day. It was a deadline of this evening, 4:30, 5:30, somewhere in that neighborhood. But obviously with the time difference, it'll probably be a little bit earlier than that. And as of yesterday, after the round, Tiger, he looked like he tweaked his back, and he didn't look good. And after the round, he had a lot of comments that were, I would say, for our purposes here in Memphis, not particularly optimistic about how his health is doing, how he's feeling, the fact that he's struggling to come back to some extent. Now he just made that birdie, so now he's 3 under par on his round today, 4 over for the tournament, and trying to edge his way back. The cut line, as we speak, that may come down a little bit.
I think it's 1 over right now.
It's in that neighborhood, but it's gonna come down because of the nature of the play. Well, I mean, I assume it's gonna come down. It usually does, but you don't know. But as it stands right now, he's still 3 shots away from making the cut. He puts up a birdie or 2 more. I think if he gets to 2 over, that might have a chance. Now, as I watch this morning, it does look like conditions are a little bit easier, and it does look like there's a lot of guys that have come out in the morning and put up a decent score. So that may be problematic for Tiger as well. I'm not going to project anything as of yet. As we mentioned yesterday, these rounds in the British tend to be very long. You have a lot of daylight to work with, so you can start very, very early and go pretty long. So won't know anything until quite a bit later on. But I think he's got a chance. He's given himself an opportunity, and he looks better today. He looks better this morning. So maybe having, because that would have been really the nightmare scenario, of course, would have been, had he slept on the back, and, you can wake up and your back can just be a wreck. Back injuries are weird like that. They can come and go. They can be healed up, and then one tiny little misstep, just one little twist, and all of a sudden you've re-injured it again. And
you don't feel it till the next day, of course.
Well, and then that's, sometimes it just gets worse, and then it gets immediate. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So, I don't know. I don't know. I would say, based on the comments that he made yesterday, and Bob Herrig wrote about it on ESPN, and it was, I think it just kind of, just to be honest, he's just not, he's older. He says it's, he says, I can't do the stuff that I used to do. It's a lot more difficult. I'm not 24 anymore. He said, just father time and some procedures I've had over the time, it's just the way it's going to be from now on. So knowing that this is where you get into that whole projection thing. Is he going to play in the tournament next week? Well, he's got the FedEx Cup playoffs coming up in 3 weeks. So is he going to play this week and next? Then is that 1 week off going to be enough before the playoffs start? That's the thing, man. It's hard to say. He just drove on 12. He just drove into the left rough on 12. So in a little bit of trouble there. I don't know. I mean, honestly, it used to be the Tiger was this machine for 10 years, give or take. He was just an absolute monster. I mean, untouchable. But, then he went through the crazy situation with his personal life, all the shenanigans that he had been up to coming to the fore. And then he had the massive, health issues and back and everything else. And man, it's brutal. It's brutal. It's brutal to try to come back. The fact that he came back and won at Augusta is still one of the more remarkable sports stories in recent memory. But he can't do that on a regular basis. And you've seen since then he's not been able to turn up that level of performance at all. I mean, every now and then you see it around here, around there, some shots here, shots there. Like today he's playing pretty well. But is that going to be enough? I don't know. And
what was your official? Did you ever give an official prediction if you thought it was coming or not?
I had thought he was coming for a while, but over the last couple of weeks, I've been a little more pessimistic about it because of just seeing how I would have thought that the time off that he took between the I guess it's the U.S. Open and this event, so almost a month where he just didn't do anything. I would have thought that he would have felt a little better coming out of that stretch, having been able to get the exercise in, give his back a little bit of a rest. And the fact that he really didn't, and he only played a couple practice rounds, and he just kind of didn't, that made me nervous. So yeah, I mean, to me, it looks at this point, if I were a betting man, I'd bet he's not coming. And
yeah, I had originally given him a 70% chance of coming, and the 30% that I left out was if he won the Open. But now I think it might be reversed, that he hasn't played well here, which initially would have been possibly a favorable result for him to come next week. But with him hurting so badly and playing pretty rough and might even miss the cut, he might not want to come back and play again that quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that's
especially with the playoffs coming up.
I don't know. It's I'm saying it's probably. I'm just gonna say I think it's like 10% chance. Like I don't.
Yeah, I think it's gone way down.
Like it's gone way down.
And what you were just saying a minute ago, the article, he's older. He's a back injury playing golf. The amount of torque on your back, it's hard to play multiple weeks in a row when you're playing for 4 days.
Well, when you don't have the recovery. I mean, he doesn't have the ability to recover that he used to. He could recover pretty quickly when he was younger, as he talked about, and now he's older. He can't. It's very difficult for the guy. So I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I know they had a little bit of a introductory thing yesterday over at TPC Southwind to kind of introduce some folks around here to some of the changes, and apparently very well received. Excellent. Everything looks good. Again, we are just days away now from the event, which is crazy to me, but we are just days away from it. So I mean, when we're hours away from when Tiger has to determine, and really it'll come from his agent, Mark Steinberg. He's the one who kind of will do all that announcement stuff. So I would assume after this round is when we'll find out. And this round is going to end probably while we're on the air. So, I mean, there's a decent chance that we may find something out while we're on this show. Certainly, I would think during middays you'll know one way or the other with Tiger. Now, as far as Ricky Fowler and Francesco Molinari, same kind of thing. I don't know if you're going to know that for sure. I don't know that we need I don't think around here we need those guys in the way that you might need Tiger. You don't really need Tiger. I mean, the event's going to be spectacular either way. 47 of the top 50 ain't bad. Considering
no, not at all.
Considering what the normal, I have to go back and look at what it was last year at the FedEx St. Jude Classic, but I'm going to guess it was not anywhere close to 47 out of the top 50. So you don't need Tiger. The event is going to be a smashing success either way. But man, it would be nice to have him. It would be
It'd be amazing.
So
to have him.
special.
Still going to be the biggest tournament that Memphis has seen, even without him.
Even a diminished Tiger would still be off the charts. I should point out, too, the leaderboard, while we were talking about this, J.B. Holmes is atop the leaderboard, 8 under par. He just bogeyed, though. He was at 9 under par. He's played really well. He was the leader after the first round and has maintained that lead. He's 3 under on his round today, 8 under for the tournament. One shot ahead of Tommy Fleetwood, who put up another excellent round. He was 3 under his first round, 4 under this round, 7 under in total. He is in, and the Englishman playing very well. Australian Cameron Smith shoots a 5 under par to put him into third place. He's at 6 under par for his tournament. He is 5 under for the round today. Just finished up with a disappointing par. Had a chance to birdie it and go to 7 and couldn't make it. Justin Harding is on 18. He is a South African player. I have no idea who he is, but he is 6 under par today. He's putting together a spectacular round, flying up the leaderboard. He's at 6 under par. Justin Rose also at 6 under par, 4 under on his round today. Like I said, everyone's shooting a little bit lower today. The course a bit easier. Brooks Koepka in with a 2 under par, 69. He is 5 under par for the tournament. Just kind of lurking. You know, when Koepka's within a few shots, just kind of lurking around, you know what happens in majors, man.
He's been there before. No lead is safe when he's close.
The joke yesterday was awesome. I forget, Kevin Clark, I think it was, that did it on Twitter, but he said, now I see how this works. You guys are hypocrites. Everybody loves Brooks Koepka, who only plays well 4 times a year, and yet you all hate Eli Manning, and he only plays well 4 times a year. So, I mean, come on.
Taking shots at my boy Eli.
I mean, what's the difference, really, right? 4 weeks out of the year. I mean, that's all, you know?
I mean, hey, Brooks was won 2 of the last 4 majors. Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls. So, good comparison.
Brooks basically, 1-2-2-1 in the last, or 1-2-1-2 or something like that. It's his major run has been insane. Even Tiger is struggling to get phone calls returned from Brooks Koepka. That's how popular he is. Jordan Spieth, what a round today. Finishes 4 under par. He's at 5 under for the tournament. He's really having a good run. Needed it big time because he has really struggled. And man, he's looking a little bit like the Spieth of old, making a lot more putts, looking much more into it. And it's good to see. Lee Westwood, Tony Finau, Lucas Bjerregaard, Shane Lowry all at 5 under par. Jason Day at 4 under par, putting together a nice round today. 3 under for his round today. 4 under for him and Sang-Yun Park. Tyrrell Hatton, who's coming to Memphis. John Rahm also coming to Memphis. Patrick Reed, yep. Kuchar, yep. All these guys coming to Memphis. They're all at 3 under par. Along Sergio Garcia, he's coming. Webb Simpson, Dylan Fratelli. Your boy, the barn rat, is not hasn't teed off yet. So a lot of those guys are later. The ones that we talked about earlier today, you know how they do the flip flop of the tee times. So all those guys are coming out a little bit later. Tiger just hit his second shot, by the way, and it was not good. Out of the rough, he's back in the rough. Third shot upcoming on the 12th hole. So every time he takes a big swing out of the rough, I'm just holding my breath because he could come up holding the back and be in big time trouble. So that's the leaderboard. We'll keep you updated throughout the round on what happens with Tiger, and if I hear anything about whether he's coming or not, or any of that info comes out, then I will obviously pass that along to you as soon as I can. Let's take a break. We'll come back and continue here on The Experience. Peter, no CJ, Austin, with you. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 at 87.7.
Sports Time with Rollo and Stats. Every weekday afternoon from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
These seats are amazing. Shoot it!
We deliver tickets, team merchandise, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
Memphis Public Golf, it's all about growing the game. Better play every day, that's their motto. They live up to it. And when I say growing the game, I mean teaching the game and the lessons that you get. And they do it almost every day. All golfers 17 and under, free green fees. That's how committed they are. And we're talking about 5 18-hole golf courses and 3 that have 9 holes apiece. I mentioned there's free golf for those that are 17 and under. That's Monday through Friday, after 12 on weekends and holidays too. And that's on every course except for Galloway. Even at Galloway, there's family golf, and that is Saturday afternoons after 12 o'clock. That's adults $25 for 18 holes with a cart, junior 17 and under. My favorite word, that would be free. And then there's clinics. They want to teach you every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 4:30 to 6:30 at Whitehaven, and then at the links at Pine Hills every Thursday, 4:30 to 6:30. All these great golf courses, all these free lessons, and free golf for those under 17. That's why Memphis Public Links is better play every day.
The forensic analyst searched for clues to the house fire.
Could that be
Starch? Suddenly it came together. The fire was started by
an over-microwaved potato?
Covered, July 25th, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
We're with Daryl, and I understand a couple of years ago you couldn't walk. What happened?
I suffered literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have what they call extreme osteoarthritis in both knees. I have bone spurs in the front of my knees, bone spurs in the back, as well as calcium deposits, which contribute to the decreased range of motion. I had a severe limp, especially on my right side, because I couldn't put any real weight on my right knee. So I started investigating options to relieve the pain. And of course, I knew about total knee replacements and Synvisc injections, cortisone injections. So I found Dr. Schrader online, and we had a consult, and stem cell injections literally changed my life.
When did you know you were better?
I literally limped in there, had the procedure done, and you wait about 30 minutes after it's done, and I literally walked out. I did not limp. I was pain-free. It was that immediate.
Call 901-465-4300 and see how Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell can help you today.
Authentic is a word that's thrown around, but you're going to hear what authentic Caribbean food sounds like, and you're definitely going to go to 126 Monroe in a Curry and Jerk to see what it tastes like. My man, Chef Ricardo, you cook everything in-house. You make all your spices. What are your secrets?
Well, the secret is Jamaican spices. This is my passion. I've been doing it over almost 15 years right now. So this is what I love to do.
Everybody knows about the curry, shrimp, and grits. Everybody loves like the jerk chicken, the curry. Chef Ricardo, your favorite dish is?
Man, choosing between the dishes that we got at Curry and Jerk, it would be like choosing between my kids because everyone is good.
And you don't have to go all the way to the Caribbean to have a taste of the Caribbean. You can have it right here in downtown Memphis. For more information, go to curryandjerk.com. And if you want authentic Caribbean cuisine, think only one place, Curry and Jerk.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. As most of you know, I don't have a history of bragging or boasting that Five-Ash Roofing is the best roofer in the Memphis area, but did you know we are the only diamond-level roofing professional in the area? We are one of very few local roofing companies that have been in business for 20 years. We've never had a justified claim against us. We are locally owned and family operated. Our labor warranties are for the life of the shingles. We're experts in insurance claim. We do residential and commercial work. We are the official roofer of the University of Memphis Athletic Department and a proud member of the Tigers home team. We support local youth sports and St. Jude's. We have worked with churches and veteran services to help those in need by providing services at a deep discount or even for free. We are currently working with Young Life to give them a free roof on the historic log cabin in Germantown. Five-Ash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Join the Midday Show this Friday at Landers Ford on Poplar in Collierville. This is your chance to get a free pair of tickets to the World Golf Championship. There are lots of deals on all Ford cars and trucks. Plus, our friends at Moe's will be providing lunch. That's this Friday the 19th from 10 to 1 for free golf tickets and other great prizes. See you there. Landers Ford, 2082 West Poplar Avenue, Collierville.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Got to keep Max's Funk Friday tradition going.
Oh, yeah. Just getting that, feeling that vibe. It's nice. Love it. Feeling it. Feel the funk, yo. Feel the funk, yo. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience without CJ Hurd. Birdies are flying in. Left, right, and center at the Open Championship, except when it comes to Tiger. He is not birdieing a whole lot, but everybody else is putting up. Tiger's actually put up a bunch of birdies today. He's had 3 today, so he's been doing all right. He's 3 under par, but everyone else is putting up similar or better numbers. That's the only issue for Tiger right now. I mean, you watching the event, it is like just constant shots going in all over the place. Still no word on Tiger. We'll keep you updated on all of that, and we'll give you a leaderboard update and all that coming up here. And one of the rare things I do have to just break in, because it's the first time I think I've ever seen this, is they're showing Abraham Ancer, who is CJ's guy.
CJ's favorite.
On TV, hitting a drive. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
And CJ's not here to see it. What a shame.
CJ's not here to see it, and it wasn't really all that good. That's a shame. I was hoping they were showing him because he was about to hit a really cool shot. He did not. Not great at all. So we saw SEC Media Days has come and gone. Congratulations again. Thanks to our friend Brett Norsworthy for terrific coverage. Brought to you by First Bank, Jason's Deli, Campbell Clinic, All-Star Chevrolet, Ronnie Grisani, Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center, Blue City Cafe, world famous Beale Street. So it is come and gone. Austin Eldridge, what did you learn from this occasion? What did you learn from SEC Media Days?
Well, I learned that Brett is fantastic as always.
Okay.
I guess that's really not learning because I already knew that. Yeah.
Right.
Alabama's going to win the SEC again. I guess we already knew that too.
I mean, again,
everybody else is just going to try to keep up. So it's really, I didn't really learn anything new. It's kind of the same thing. Alabama's good again. Everybody else trying to keep up. Georgia going to try to hold off Florida and get back to the SEC championship game. I guess the one thing I could say I learned is Florida is going to be pretty good. And I didn't expect them to be predicted to be so close to Georgia to really give them a run for their money in the East just yet. I thought they were a year away still, but a lot of people think they're going to be really good.
Do we think we think that Felipe Franks is going to be even better?
I still think Jake Fromm is the best quarterback in the East.
We believe in Felipe though.
I don't know. I mean, has he really proven anything? I mean,
that's my question. I mean, I'm not dogging the guy out. I'm just saying.
I mean, obviously you've got Jake Fromm at the top of the East. Other than that, he's had to compete with Drew Lock, I guess, who was pretty good. But I mean, I think Drew Lock is better than Felipe Franks.
I would have thought so, certainly.
So, I mean, I don't really think Felipe has really done anything. I think it's just the rest of the SEC East was not very good. Jake Bentley is better than Felipe Franks. I think South Carolina could.
I don't know how good Jake Bentley really. I mean, Jake Bentley's been there forever. I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah, he's a Fred VanVleet.
He feels
like
football. He should be. I mean, he should be good. I think he is. He is good from time to time. It feels like he should be. I don't know. Maybe just a little bit better. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think he's proven anything. I think he's just got the benefit of he had to play Tennessee, who was terrible last year, Vanderbilt, who's always terrible. Kentucky was better, but not great. And South Carolina was not great. The only really good team he had to worry about was Georgia, and that's a loss. So, yeah, I just think they're basing it on the fact of everybody else is not going to be as good as Florida could be, and then Georgia's at the top.
So I wonder, the one thing that stood out to me, and it kind of, I've seen some folks discuss this here and there. I think we're learning the limits of what excuses or what explanations can do for Alabama at this point. And I get the sense, maybe not from Nick Saban himself, because I think Saban's pretty even-keeled in general, but I get the sense from some of the players around him, some of the players that we saw with the comments that were made about, well, we just didn't prepare. There were some distractions. There were this. Yeah, Saban had a couple little offhand remarks, but I mean, Saban does that. That's not surprising that he would necessarily do that. But I do get the sense, and maybe I'm overplaying this a little bit, but I feel like Alabama is worried about Clemson on the national scene. I feel like
why not?
There is a legit intimidation factor with a lot of these guys. Like Dylan Moses saying that Alabama's better than Clemson, even though very clearly Clemson just beat the fire out of them in the national championship game. So you saw the same thing with discussions about why they lose, what happens here. It always seems as though because Alabama's been so good that like when they lose, it's so weird that you have to find a way to rationalize. Like, well, actually, it turns out they did this, turns out they did that. So I ask you this, and I'll ask our listeners and texters at 67129. You can call in as well, 360-8255, especially if you're a Bama fan. But this is really for all college football fans because they are the big ticket. How do you think that all of the turnover on the staff, the fact that every year after the season, typically there are several Alabama assistants who are in line for head coaching jobs. You saw, Mike Loxley last year was another example, but it's been going on for, Kirby, and go back to all these guys, Jeremy Pruitt, and they're all over the place.
Lane.
Back to Lane Kiffin. I mean, that Lane thing was a tremendous distraction. And one of the reasons why, I think a legitimate reason why Clemson beat Alabama the first time a couple of years ago. But that's always around Alabama. And they've won in spite of it. But it's happened over and over and over and over again. Is that a legitimate gripe? Is that a legitimate excuse for them to have lost this game? Clemson has not dealt with it as much. For whatever reason, a guy like Brent Venables is locked in and is not leaving and doesn't seem to want to leave. Either has had plenty of opportunities to go be a head coach and does not seem to want to be anything other than a big-time defensive coordinator under Dabo. There are many reasons why some people have all kinds of different theories about why that might be, or I don't know. But the fact of the matter is that's the case, which makes Dabo's life a lot simpler. Nick Saban is constantly dealing with staff turnover. Again, this year, 2 new assistants or 2 new coordinators, 7 new assistants. Every year, it's there have been 1 or 2 new coordinators on offensive defensive side in each of the last 5-6 years. I mean, it's just constant with Nick. Have we reached the point when that is now a problem? Is that a legitimate excuse for Alabama? Obviously not in the SEC, but we're talking now against the greatest of the greatest other team, the greatest non Alabama team that we've seen in a long time in Clemson.
I guess you could make an argument for that, but for me, especially since most people would say that they believe Saban is the greatest coach of all time in college football, Saban has to be prepared for that. If you're going to call him the greatest, and if he's going to put together and he's going to have the standard that he has, Saban, and he goes through it like you say, to me it should be the opposite. If you go through it every year, you should know how to deal with it. And he's beaten Clemson once, or what is it, twice? Is it 2-2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2-2. He's beaten them twice, and he's lost to them twice. So to me, I feel like it's just Clemson outplayed them. It shouldn't have as much to do with distraction. Now, are the players tired of it, and maybe they didn't make a play as hard as they could have, or the way that they didn't want to listen? I don't know. But to me, Nick Saban has to – I don't think Nick Saban personally can make that excuse. Maybe we can make that excuse for him. Maybe that's an outside looking in, like, oh, maybe this is part of it, and maybe it is. But Saban can't say that, because Nick Saban can't come out and start making excuses, because that's a bad look for him.
Well, and I feel like people, I go back and watch that game. I mean, the other games, Alabama and Clemson have put together some classics, and Alabama's won, but it's pretty much been a tight affair. When they've won, they've barely won. It's been so close. Deshaun Watson was right almost, but there was nothing close and nothing. It was a beatdown. Tua, who was absolutely unbelievable, how good Tua has been, and he was spectacular in the regular season. Clemson's defense had him throwing crazy passes, making terrible mistakes, stuff that we'd never seen from the guy before. Meanwhile, Trevor Lawrence, freshman quarterback, unbelievable. Just smooth, no issue, no problem. Let's just go in there and dissect an Alabama defense in a way that we very rarely ever see. I mean, only like a guy like Johnny Manziel has done anything like that. Occasionally Ole Miss, Hugh Freeze, those Hugh Freeze games, they put a couple of those types of games on them, but very rarely do you see it happen. It was a beatdown, man. So you can't start making excuses about that. Nick Saban afterwards had said, well, some of my guys maybe were, prepared for the NFL or distracted by that. And listen, it would be natural. It would be totally understandable for a team that has lost, year after year, multiple first-round picks on the defensive side of the ball, what they've had to deal with in losses.
But they always reload at the same time.
But I mean, when you reload, don't say repeat, because somebody could get shot. When you reload, often, and Alabama's been immune to this for the most part, but I think we're starting to see the limits of it. You just don't quite get that same level of quality. You can't quite always get the same. You're just slightly it's like making a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. Eventually, the copy machine, that starts to get a little smudged. You can't quite read the first two copies are good, but then that third one is a little, and then eventually you just can't keep replacing that level of quality at that same rate without experiencing a little bit of a slide.
That and the one point I will make in favor of what you were just saying with the assistants too is for Dabo, he's had the same assistant. So the point that you can make is his assistants not only have watched film of Alabama, they've been on the field. Mm-hmm. They've seen how Alabama plays, and to me, that is more important than you can watch film, but you're also there. You've seen it in person. For Saban, his assistants 1 year, they were there for every game, but then they left. This next guy didn't see Clemson play last year. He could watch the film of it, but he wasn't there. So maybe he makes a little bit of an adjustment on his game plan that he thinks is good, but it turns out it would have been better if they stuck with what they did the year before or something. So I guess in that aspect, you could say dealing with the loss of the assistants could affect the outcome of those games. But to me, it still shouldn't affect it that much because Saban's going to go out and hire what you would think would be high-level people.
I mean, he has, but they're high-level people because they're around Saban. I don't know. It just I feel like there's excuse making, and for the first time, I feel like they're a little bit intimidated.
Well, yeah, because you never hear Alabama at media days come up with these logical explanations for a loss. They're always talking about how, this is how we're going to win this game, this is how we're going to win this game, this is how we're going to win this game next, kind of thing.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Lots more on this, give you an update on what's happening with the Open Championship and Tiger. All of that still to come as we continue here. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
From Penny, the Tiger player.
I think it's just Anthony Hardaway this and Anthony Hardaway that, but we have just more than one player on the team.
Through Penny, the Tiger coach.
Well, I think the main game plan is we can teach you. We're going to develop you. We're going to get you better.
For over 25 years, we have been real sports talk for Memphis in the Mid-South. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Are you tired of all the clouds and bad weather? Rain brings pollutants that can wreak havoc on your car's finish, but there is someone who can help. Car Wash USA Express has introduced their most advanced car wash yet with the exclusive Polymer Pro Wash, creating a stronger, more consistent protective sealant for your car's finish. Polymer Pro can only be found at Car Wash USA Express, where attendants are always on duty to keep you and your vehicle safe. For more information and locations, visit carwashusaexpress.com. Car Wash USA Express, because a dirty car is a dirty shame.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
In today's evolving workplace, XMC understands the process of getting office work done has moved from the desktop to your pocket. The new Xerox multifunctional printers and Connect Key app technology are game changers. Are you working with confidential information? Does it need to be secure from unwanted threats? Do you need to translate documents to another language? Xerox's App Gallery provides solutions like secure printing and easy translator technology. XMC is the second largest exclusive Xerox agent in the U.S. with 9 locations to serve you. We've been in business for over 25 years and have received top awards from Xerox. In changing our world one experience at a time, our team's committed to doing what's right for your business. XMC is proud to be your leader in document and print management, and it'd be our pleasure to serve you. Contact XMC today at 888-814-3114 or visit our website at xmcinc.com. XMC, excellence in office solutions.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheimer for Sunrise Chevy. The Sunrise Chevy Ranch has over 500 new vehicles to choose from with interest low as 0% and rebates up to $7,500. A $5 million used car inventory specializing in late model GM certified and cars and trucks under $10,000. Bad credit, bankrupt, slow pay, it's okay. Sunrise gets you financed when no one else can. Check out the inventory and apply online at sunrisememphis.com or call us on the phone. Come in and see us, go online or call. Any way you do it, we'll save you money at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch, partner. 385 in Houston Levy and Collierville. Find new roads. It's happened again. Miramichi, that heaven in Woodstock, 15 miles north of downtown Memphis. Miramichi has been made the #1 public golf course in the state of Tennessee. 15 minutes from downtown, all this natural beauty, this very tough test of golf is there for you, and it's #1 again. They've improved again, too. They've made changes. They always do. They want you to have the best golfing experience you could possibly have. And they keep on making these adjustments. They've knocked down some trees. They made it easier. They have better conditions with grass. The greens, outstanding. And once again, they are #1. I also should tell you they've got new golf carts, and they've got these cool little things where you hook up your phone, it'll charge, and at the same time, you've got GPS on your phone. All kinds of innovation and a world-class golfing experience at Miramichi in Woodstock.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
I'm just watching Bubba Watson tee off with that big old crazy draw, trying to get to the 7th.
Eli's favorite golfer.
I mean, he's the position he has to tee off to get this thing, to loop it back around is ridiculous. Like, he's basically standing sideways on the tee to loop this thing around. And you know what? It worked. It worked okay, decently enough. I know. Yeah, Eli's going to follow him around next week, I'm sure. Hey, Bubba, I love you, buddy. We will be out there as a station right here at Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7. We're going to be out there all week long. And by we, I mean everybody but me and CJ.
That's okay, though. You're still going to have a great show.
And Austin.
Yeah, I won't be there either. Not until late.
We have been banned from the course. We're too cool, is what they said. They said, you guys are too cool for the course. We can't bring you out here. It would be too awesome. And it would take too much attention away from all the great golfers. And so I said, well, it's tough but fair. I understand that. That's what would happen. So we don't want to detract from them. So we're just gonna leave it for everybody else to be out there. 10 to 6. The middays show will be out there. They're gonna let Johnny Radio out there.
Yeah, that's confusing. You you guys can't go out there, but Johnny can. Well, I think they made a mistake.
Johnny's a cool guy. He's not as cool as us, but he's a cool guy. But I'm just worried about the golfers. I mean, are they ready for the John Harden experience? Are they ready?
Yeah, hopefully he won't be trying to hand out any brownies while he's out there. I know he's been known to do that on occasion.
Golf does have a fascination, as I read this week. Nice little piece.
Although if Tiger does come, he might like some of John's brownies. Might help the back pain a little bit.
Well, no, here's the thing. There's the golfers that do the CBD oil, the cannabinoid. The golfers are into it big time.
Yeah.
So I think there may be a connection there. It may not be a bad idea. We're going to be out there though, 10 to 6, all the way through Willow and Stats, and everyone's going to be out today, as a matter of fact, too. So I mean, it's going to be with lots of remotes and stuff, and I'm going to be out and about, much like Austin, you were yesterday. With the old Sports 56 van out at Landers Ford and Landers Ford South. I'll be there next week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I believe. Next week as well, doing some of those van hits. So we'll get out there and. Did you roll out the old putting green? Did you?
Oh yeah, rolled out the old putting green and had some makers, had some missers. It's not as straightforward as you would think.
It's about a 10-footer?
About a 10-footer. You got to play the slope.
Right to left.
Yeah.
Tiny little bit of right
Actually,
to left.
I've noticed if they hit it slower, it tends to want to go left to right on them now.
Maybe the contours of that green changed.
Yeah, over time,
It's been about a year. Well, a little more than a year now since I've putted on it. So yeah, I got to get out there and
got to play that slope. The hole sits right on the little slope there.
Certainly, there's no question about it. You got to hit it. Got to want it, but not too hard, or it'll pop right back over.
Yeah, I did have a few sky balls yesterday.
It does happen if you just kind of power it through. It's difficult. But anyway, so it's all happening. We're gonna try to get you some tickets to the World Golf Championships event, the FedEx St. Jude Invitational, all that coming up. We're talking about the Alabama situation. And that's one thing I learned at Media Days. I feel like there's a little excuse making that has crept into the Alabama program, and that didn't used to be the case. And maybe it's because, and I mean honestly, I think Alabama for the first time under Nick Saban is being threatened in a legitimate way that they have not been threatened before. Not within the conference. I'm not there yet with Georgia. Maybe Georgia has had opportunities. They were not far away, but you gotta show me. You gotta show me before I can believe that's gonna happen. But Clemson has shown me, and we've seen it now 4 straight years where Clemson and Alabama have played in the playoff. There's no reason to assume that we won't see it a 5th year. The only question, I guess, is whether we will see it in the semifinal or in the final. But I mean, is there any reason, Austin, to think? I've been looking all week and trying to figure this out. I saw discussions from other events. We saw Jim Harbaugh making a little controversial statements about Urban Meyer and Ryan Day there at Ohio State. And I'm sure that the Buckeyes will be in the mix. I'm sure that Michigan, will attempt to be in the mix if they can beat one of their rivals for the first time in a while. I'm sure that there'll be some discussions about. Notre Dame's always usually in maybe this is the year that Texas is finally back. They've been back for the decade straight.
Yeah, I've been hearing that for 10 years.
Maybe this is the year. Oklahoma, if Jalen Hurts, he's not, to me, the same sort of quarterback that we've seen win the Heisman for them, Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield, but who can bet against him and with Lincoln Riley, and Hurts is a super kid, smart guy and all that stuff, so I have no doubt that he's going to do well. I see nothing to indicate that we won't see Alabama Clemson again. I don't see anybody nationally that is on that level. I'm not buying it. I can't. I don't know when will we at this point? I mean, if we haven't seen it by now, if Oklahoma can't do it, and I don't really think they can. If Ohio State's not doing it, I don't really see them doing it. Who's going to do it?
Yeah, I mean, despite everything we've been talking about with maybe they're a little intimidated of Clemson, they're not intimidated about anybody else.
No.
And they're still going to most likely run the table in the SEC. The only team I could see maybe pulling an upset on Alabama in the West would be LSU or A&M, and even that's going to be a feat because they don't lose to people very easily, and they're going to get back to the SEC championship game. Is it Georgia's year? We've been hearing that for the last couple of years. Nope, probably not. They're probably going to win the SEC championship game again. Even if they don't, they're still in the playoff, and every time they get to the playoff, they just have it. They turn it on another level. They find a way to win that first game, and then it's just a matter of can they get past Clemson. But yeah, there's no reason to assume, I don't believe there's any chance at all we won't see Bama in the playoff. None. I have no reason to think that.
No, nor do I. There's no reason to expect that. I just think that they know that at the end of the day, that Clemson is doing a lot of the stuff that they've done. They're just doing it at this point a little bit better. Got a little sharper, little better, the facilities, the talent level, the recruiting, the PR. Does it appear to be more fun to play for Dabo or Nick Saban?
Oh, it's more fun to play for Dabo, no doubt.
I mean, aside from all the stuff Dabo said about, there's some stuff Dabo says I don't agree with, but I mean, like, personality-wise, everything else?
Well, and Dabo doesn't seem to be as much of like the quote-unquote dictator personality that Saban seems to have. Saban's even hard on his coaches, much less his players. Dabo seems to be, I'm sure you're not going to go to Clemson and have it easy. You're going to have hard practices, but he's not screaming at you on the sidelines like Saban does, it seems.
I would agree. We'll take a break. We'll come back and get you updated on the open leaderboard and much more as we begin hour number 2 of the program. Still on Tiger Watch. Wondering, waiting, hoping, guessing. Will he? Won't he? Maybe we'll find out in the next couple hours. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Find out with us here in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Go get in a pool and go get to Family Leisure so you can get that pool that you can get into. It's that easy. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Lots to get into. We'll do that next as we continue here. And maybe a little Grizzly rumor that is cropped up that's very interesting. And not necessarily from a player perspective. Well, we'll give you that too. In hour number 2, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7, 96.1.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours.
Hey, you guys, Memphis Paints and Sports 56 are teaming up Friday, July 19th. Come win lots of door prizes, 4 golf rounds at Wedgwood, gift cards at the Butcher Shop, and 2 lucky people win 2 box seats to the FedEx World Championship Golf Tournament, valued at $400 apiece. Wow, don't forget, complimentary Central Barbecue, yum. See y'all Friday, July 19th, Memphis Paint, 699 South Mendenhall, across the street from Half Shell. Come hungry.
Memphis Paint, 699 Mendenhall, Friday, July 19th, Sports 56 Live from 3 to 6 p.m.
The decision to put hardwoods on your floor actually isn't all that hard, because the Home Depot has Bruce Plano Marsh Oak solid hardwood flooring at a new low price of just $289 a square foot. It was $379. Your floors will give you the great look you want now and a boosted resale value later when it's time to sell your home. Today is the day for doing and for adding value with Bruce Plano hardwood flooring for just $289 a square foot. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Offer valid through August 4th.
A great restaurant knows that first impressions are important, and 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination, always gets things started right. Prime has the most appetizing appetizers you are going to find anywhere. Start with the char-grilled oysters or roasted Brussels sprouts with Benton's bacon, or the green eggs and ham, Benton's country ham with green pea deviled eggs, or the breathtaking butcher's platter, and your meal is off to a truly special start. That's no surprise, because if you want a special meal downtown, you want to go to Prime.
Valero salutes you and all your finest moments. For those times you go beyond what you thought possible. Whether that looks like running that extra mile or that extra errand. For taking on a new challenge, a new adventure, or a new route to work. Wherever life's finest moments take you, get there with the finest fuel. Valero top-tier certified quality fuel. It keeps your engine running cleaner, better, and longer. Find a station near you at ValeroCleanGas.com.
The best golfers in the world are coming to Memphis for the inaugural WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM will be broadcasting live at TPC Southwind throughout the day, Wednesday through Friday of tournament week, keeping you up to date with the latest tournament news and talking with players and officials. Our coverage from TPC Southwind on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM is presented by Landers Ford. It's also brought to you by Curry and Jerk, Miller Lite, Gatlin Insurance, Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center, and the Half Shell.
Join the Midday Show this Friday at Landers Ford on Poplar in Collierville. This is your chance to get a free pair of tickets to the World Golf Championship. There are lots of deals on all Ford cars and trucks. Plus, our friends at Moe's will be providing lunch. That's this Friday the 19th from 10 to 1 for free golf tickets and other great prizes. See you there. Landers Ford, 2082 West Poplar Avenue, Collierville.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurts. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Peter, you're getting your dance moves on, and the cameras aren't working today. That's a shame.
It's a shame. You have to imagine it. It's really good. Pretty amazing stuff. You can't listen to that and not dance. To me,
Yeah, you got to dance.
you can't. You just can't. You can't hear that and not have that rhythm affect your body. It just doesn't. It doesn't work that way. You got to get moving. Fantastic stuff on Funk Friday. Thank you very much, Austin Eldridge, for all of that. We've got no CJ. We do have the Peter Edmiston experience without CJ hurt, but soon enough he'll be back Monday, and the gang will be all back together. Austin, CJ, and Peter. The Dairy Boys in full, but we are missing our friend Chocolate Milk. I'm whole milk. Got almond milk. I was talking to Gabe Kuhn, Muscle Milk, after the show. He's sort of an auxiliary dairy boy. We got a lot of folks out there. Dairy Boys are spread far and wide, so you can be part of that as you listen to the program. In the meantime, we are still on Tiger Watch. I'll keep you updated on what's happening with Tiger. He is on the course right now, still waiting. And we'll find out one way or the other today. You'll find out about his commitment because he has to commit or not by later on this afternoon. I would think it would come a little bit earlier than that. Also coming up here in just a little bit, we'll talk a little. There's a little grisly rumor that's making the rounds. I think it's very interesting. We'll discuss that coming up. A little more college football talk. Chris Raby's going to come your way with we'll talk a little baseball with Chris and some other stuff too at 9:00. So looking forward to all of that. Get in touch, 360-8255. That is the First Bank phone line, 360-8255. You can also text us on the First Bank text line at 67129. Make sure you join the text team first if you haven't already done that. Most of you already done that, but some of you haven't. And you have to do that before your text will go through. So text 56-JOIN to 67129. 56-JOIN to 67129. Do it once. That's all you have to do. You don't have to put it in quotes or do anything crazy with it. Just 56-JOIN to 67129. When you do it once, your phone will be locked in, and then you can text us anytime you like. Just save us as a contact at 67129 to make it super easy for you here in the Family Leisure Studios. That's where we are, and you've still got plenty of time, but it's starting to come to an end of the pool clearance sale. This weekend is when it will wrap up. Above ground pool starting at $11.99, 24-foot pool starting at only $17.99. It is the chance for you to buy now and to get it going over at Family Leisure. So, as we mentioned, the Open Championship going on right now. I'll give you the leaderboard update, and then we'll talk about Tiger stuff. You have a two-way tie for the lead right now. J.B. Holmes, who is on the 18th hole. He was the leader yesterday. He has done well today, 3 under par, 8 under for the tournament, tied with Shane Lowry, who's off to a spectacular start. Lowry 4 under through his first 5 holes, all of them 4 birdies, and he's really playing well. He's at 8 under par. Tommy Fleetwood, 7 under par. He is sole possession of 3rd place. Cameron Smith, Justin Harding, 2 guys you've never heard of, had really good rounds today. And they are at 6 under par, along with some guys that you have heard of. Lee Westwood, Justin Rose, Tony Finau. 5-way tie for 4th at 6 under par. Brooks Koepka, Jordan Spieth. They are at 5 under par after some good rounds of golf. Jordan Spieth especially 4 under par on his round today. 5 under for the tournament along with Koepka. Koepka just lurking. Master of the majors. He's always there. And guess what? He's there again. Behind them, Eric Van Rooyen, Lucas Bjerregaard, Patrick Reed, John Rahm, Matt Kuchar, Sang-Hyun Park, Dylan Fratelli, last week's winner, all at 4 under par. Sergio, Alex Noren, a host of others, they're at 3 under par. And Jason Day had it up there for a while and apparently had a very rocky finish to his round because he has fallen way back from 3 under. And I think did I miss him? Did he just completely collapse? I've been scrolling down the leaderboard. I don't know if I see him, and I'm worried about my guy. Did he pass out on the course? Did somebody remember that one time that he had a little issue and he fainted? I don't see him out here. So maybe I must have scrolled past him, surely, by this point. But everyone is still there. He is, Jason Day. So he's one under par. He's 2 bogeys in his last 2 holes, I believe, for Jason Day. Everyone's still kind of wondering about Tiger, though. And obviously, Tiger is the center of all the attention, as he should be. There's good news and bad news from Tiger from a competitive standpoint. The good news is that he has played pretty well today. He is 3 under par on his round today. Bad news is that he was awful yesterday. Shot a 78, and so he's going to have to probably get I would say conservatively 2 more strokes back to have even a chance. Right now, the cut line is at 1 over par. The white guys are scoring pretty well out here. That may actually even go up to like even. I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes that slides a little bit, but to have even a faint chance, Tiger's going to need to get a couple birdies in his last 4 holes to have an opportunity. And he's looked the last few holes to me as I'm watching, kind of here and there, obviously doing the show. You can't really focus too much but from what I keep seeing, he hasn't looked all that crisp out there. And you've had a chance, Austin. You've watched probably maybe a little closer than I have, but it looks like he's kind of fading a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, I think he knows he's not going to be in contention even if he makes a cut. And at this point, I think he's just trying to conserve his back as much as possible so he doesn't hurt it.
You think he's trying to conserve his back for next week?
No, well, I don't think it's for next week. Obviously, if he has already decided in his mind that he's going to play next week, then obviously he wants to conserve it for that too. But I think in general, he doesn't want to go through surgeries and missing time and all that stuff again. I think he wants to keep it as healthy as he can keep it.
So that's really what this all comes down to. I mean, as much as I know everyone is focused on Tiger in the majors and wanting to see him do well, and I'm not sure we'll ever be able to replicate the magic of Augusta from earlier in the year, it's really about, is Tiger going to commit to the tournament or not next week? I mean, come on. This is what Tiger Watch is all about. Tiger Watch. You know what? We've talked about, after yesterday, I was extremely pessimistic because his first shot of the tournament, he comes up grimacing in the back and all that stuff, and then that's okay. All right, that's not good. But he sort of ambles through the round, and after the round, he says the stuff about I'm getting old, and everything hurts, and I can't do the stuff I used to do, and it was rough. Sounded a little bit rough. Sounded a lot rough, actually. Okay, but today he comes out and he's actually shooting reasonably well. He looks, from what I can gather, physically he looks okay. Like, he didn't go to sleep. Like he could have, with the back, you never know. You could wake up and like it's just locked up on you completely. I mean, I'm sure many of our listeners have had that happen where you had a little tweak and next thing you know, you go to bed and you wake up, you can't even like move and you got major back issues. It could have been something like that with Tiger. It wasn't. Obviously, he's out of bed and he's moving and he's actually playing reasonably well in a little bit of pretty comparably benign conditions for what you consider open championship type weather. It's a lot better than it was yesterday. That's for sure. So he's playing pretty well. Now this could be maybe I'm talking myself into this thing. Maybe I'm trying to be overly optimistic. Positive Pete, as opposed to pessimistic Pete. Positive Pete here says, you know what? This might actually be the best possible scenario. Tiger comes out a little rough, some physical conditions not great, plays better on Friday, feels a little bit better. His body's looser because he's played a little bit of golf. Weather's a little bit better. Everything's moving okay. Like he's getting there. Stuff's happening. He finishes with a positive round, but still not enough to make the cut. So he's on a little bit of an upswing. Shoots 68, 67, something like that. Not going to make the cut. Gives him a chance to travel over here with a little more convenience, not be rushed, get over to the United States, and feel like, okay, I feel like maybe I can make this thing happen. Maybe we can do this thing. Maybe I'm feeling a little bit better. Maybe I don't have to play these 2 extra rounds of golf. Maybe that's enough to be able to commit. So I think if I'm being positive Peter, maybe this is the perfect storm of scenario here.
Yeah, I mean, the playing better is key because I think if he would have just collapsed and ended up 15 or 16 over, then he would have been like, I ain't playing next week. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The only concern I would have with him missing the cut is, boy, do I really want to go compete now with all the best golfers in the world? Do I think I can compete enough to make it worth my time to go play again next week, go back to the United States, go play again, can I compete with them? That would be my only concern. I think Tiger is confident that he can compete because, he won the Masters this year. That's no small feat. But does he want to miss the cut here and then go take on the top 50 golfers in the world? That's my only concern. But I do feel like it's the best possible outcome because I feel like if he'd have made the cut, maybe he's okay, I made the cut. I did okay. My back's not feeling too good, though. Going to give it some time off and prepare for the playoffs. So it's hard. It is hard to read inside of Tiger's mind because Tiger thinks differently than most of all the other golfers when it comes to the tournaments he plays in.
Well, yeah, you don't want to get too deep into this trying to figure out like what is Tiger thinking and all that sort of thing. I'm definitely not gonna get into all of that. Tiger, by the way, is short of the green on 15. Does not look like he's going to be able to birdie that hole, which would knock out another birdie chance, which would mean he pretty much have to go birdie to finish in order to have a chance to realistically make the cut. So I think the cut is starting to look a little further away. Now, it was miles away when he teed off, so he's at least put himself in position to talk about it. But we'll like I said, we'll find out. We may find out something by the end of this show. It depends. He's got his birdie putt now from way off the green on 15. He's probably about 45 feet away. Put a nice little stroke on it. It's getting up there. Going to be a little bit short and right, though. He'll leave himself some work to do to try to par. If he misses that putt, then you can pretty much shut the door on any minor hopes that he would have. Do you think he's coming? We'll find out. 67129. Let me know what you think. 67129. Now, on the Alabama issue, Texter says, not an SEC fan, but the first game Clemson won was given to them. It was clearly a pick block on their winning touchdown in that game. Man, the pick plays are...
I'm so tired of that excuse, too. It's ridiculous. It happens all the time.
Pick plays are a constant source of irritation.
The only reason it got any kind of news is because it was a game-winning play. Otherwise, it wouldn't have mattered.
It's, we've seen a ton of them. I agree. But in any event, it says the first game Clemson won was given to them. Clearly a pick block. Second win, they just plain beat Alabama. But money talks. If the NCAA were doing their job in these big institutions, they would clearly find illegal things going on. Well, I don't know about illegal things, but certainly against the NCAA rules. They'd find rules violations. You know my policy on that, guys.
We all know this.
It's everybody, every institution. Everybody is breaking rules to some extent. I have always used the analogy: whenever you drive for more than 10 or 15 minutes, you will inevitably break a traffic law at some point. Is it super minor? Like, did you use your turn signal to change lanes? Did you come to a complete stop at that stop sign? Are you exceeding the speed limit? Little stuff like that. You probably will screw something like that up pretty much every time you drive, one way or the other. Are you using your phone? There are all kinds of little things that you could do. Big things, little things. But now that's not the same thing as like going, 100 miles an hour in a school zone. Okay, that's real bad. That's not the same thing as hit and run. It's not the same thing as running somebody over. Some of these programs are doing the equivalent of that. Every program is doing the equivalent of like doing 5-10 mile per hour over the speed limit. Every single program. Not everyone is doing the driving like a complete maniac. There are some that have, and eventually the NCAA will step in. But I always think of it as like the IRS. It's like if the IRS had the resources to poke around everybody's taxes, they'd probably find some problems with pretty much everybody. Stuff.
Because most of the time you might make a small mistake because you don't even know. You don't really know how to do it.
Sometimes you might have done it intentionally and had been got away with it. Maybe sometimes you didn't. Maybe you just made there's lots of little mistakes you could possibly make.
Yeah, it's incredibly complicated stuff.
It's not easy. So, like that, if the NCAA decides to poke around, just like if the IRS pokes around, if they want to poke around enough, they'll find something probably. You don't want, and by the same token, you don't want the NCAA poking around your program any more than you want the IRS poking around your taxes. There's no good.
Yeah, as Hugh Freeze at Ole Miss found out, it's usually not a good idea to challenge the NCAA to come and check your program out.
There you go. So I don't buy that either. I don't think anything that's happening is we've all agreed as a society, pretty much, all of us, I think that are fans of the sport, to just kind of look the other way to a large extent at what is clearly it's a broken system, broken beyond belief, honestly, because these guys probably should all get more money than they get. They should be paid legitimately. There should be other methods of compensation for a sport that is just raking in bucketfuls of money and just dousing all the administrators and schools and everybody else with all this cash. It's not going to the students who are paying more and more in tuition every year. Tuition rates have gone through the roof at so many places. I mean, it's crazy how much it costs now for a college education. All this money that's out there. I mean, if this were really about the educational aspect of it, some of that money could certainly go back and to try to help in to deal with that issue. It doesn't. Or it could be spread around in so many other different ways to the players, compensate them for their time and energy and efforts and everything else. And it's not done that either. It's basically filled the coffers of a lot of administrators and a lot of people out there who are wealthy. Okay, great, no problem. We all kind of know that it's a broken system. So if in a broken system, some people are breaking other rules to find ways to get players some money within that system, I'm okay with that. I mean, honestly, like I have no moral qualms whatsoever about any of that. It doesn't matter to me. And I don't think that has any impact on whether Clemson is better than Alabama or vice versa. And your boy Affa Barnrat just hit another birdie on his first hole, so now he's at 4. He's just killing you, crushing you.
I'm telling you what, I mean, he's going to win.
Under this guy's backside.
He's listening to Sports 56 on our live stream, and he heard me, and it's over.
He's got you in the ear in the pods right now while he's out there on the course. He's like, come on, say something else, Austin. Come on, say something else. I dare you. Come on. So I don't think that has anything to do with any of this. I mean,
no.
The separate issue of like NCAA administration and money and all that stuff. We could go into that for hours and hours and hours, and there's.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear the NCAA has selective enforcement and all that. We've talked about that. The big money programs are not going to get in trouble as much because they generate so much revenue for the NCAA. And that's just how it is right now. There's corruption there. But as far as between Alabama and Clemson or those kind of programs, they're all so big. They're all doing the same thing. It just so happens that their 5-star recruits were better than Alabama's 5-star recruits last year. I mean, that's just how it worked out.
Well, and I mean, again, you could go back to how close the matchups were earlier. Look at Alabama's when the last time they beat Clemson, it required that onside kick that was just crazy. That onside kick was nuts. A great call, gutsy call, but onside kicks, that's a coin flip at best. I mean, you're waiting for a bounce that bounced perfectly. If it didn't bounce perfectly, then that game may end up totally differently. The fact that they kind of had to pull that trick out of the bag tells you how worried they were about where Clemson was, and that showed a great deal of respect in my mind for that program and for what they're all about. My point is that argument could be twisted around however you want to twist it to accommodate your point of view. I think the evidence is pretty clear. I don't see a lot coming from Clemson's side, and admittedly I'm not following ACC media days as closely as I'm following SEC media days, but I don't see a lot from Clemson's side to indicate that they're worried about Alabama. I don't see a lot of this talk. I don't see a lot of this sort of thing. I think they feel pretty good about where they're at as a program. And
well, I think that's what gave them the success they had. They came into the season and the game said, we're not worried. We know we had the talent. We just have to go play our game. That's the attitude they have to take, and it's paid off for them.
Well, and the other question that's kind of a separate question, but very important ultimately in the scheme of things is it really good for college football to continue to have what appears to be a collision course for Clemson, Alabama 5? This will be 5 straight years where we've had this matchup in the playoffs. I see no reason why we won't. And it's hard to envision because these guys have built this program. Until Saban or Dabo leave, is there anything going to change? I mean, it's hard to envision that. I don't see those guys leaving anytime soon. So I don't think there's much in a way for a shakeup.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I don't like Alabama, but just because I'm an Ole Miss fan, you can't root for Alabama. But
obviously I don't like.
I really don't have any feelings one way or another on Clemson. But I mean, I would like to see somebody else. You know my view on that. I like parity. I like seeing other teams with opportunities. But I mean, it's still fun. Those games. Last year was a blowout, but other than that, they've been fun games to watch. It's not like it's been terrible. The Oklahoma-Georgia game a couple years ago was incredible. So they've had the good teams there, so you really can't complain about that. But it'll be nice when somebody else gets there, but you can't complain about the exciting aspect of the game, I guess.
No, I would agree with that. Let's take a break. We'll come back and continue here on the Experience. Tigers got a birdie putt on 16. A lot of older guys playing well in this event, which is fun to see. And it's a heck of a leaderboard. It really is, in spite of the fact that Tiger is way far down. But you know what? As we talked about, maybe that's better for Memphis. We'll see. We'll take that break. We'll come back here in the Family Leisure Studios. Get to that little Grizzly rumor that I think is very interesting. We'll do that on the other side as we continue here. Real Sports Dog, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 Middays, delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Have you noticed your air conditioning system never breaks down at a good time? We know at Conway Services the timing is never right to replace your air conditioning system. That's why we have financing options. Right now, during the dog days of summer, get your new Carrier air conditioning system as low as $99 per month. That's right, Conway Services has new Carrier air conditioning systems as low as $99 per month. Now, you can do that. Plus, your new air conditioning system comes with a 10-year parts warranty and a free programmable thermostat. And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You're scrambling around. You need a haircut. Where you gonna go? I got a place that has 15 locations. I've got a place where details matter. I've got a place that can be invigorating and relaxing at the same time. You know what it is. It's Supercuts. Every haircut ends with the signature hot towel finish. Every haircut matters. When you're getting ready, you go into Supercuts. The stylist will pay attention to every detail. So you get the haircut you want, and of course, you're going to finish with that signature hot towel. You walk out clean, sharp, and not just ready, but super ready. And you might want to ask that hairstylist about what the Tea Tree Experience is. One part invigorating, one part relaxing. The Tea Tree Experience is something you need to try. 15 locations. I mentioned that, didn't I? All you've got to do is go to supercuts.com. You'll find the one nearest to you. Get super ready at Supercuts.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. It is that time of year where the weather is unpredictable, and given the recent storms, it's a good time to discuss insurance claims. So here's a few things you should know. Always hire a local contractor, because if you have a problem with your roof down the road, you want to be able to find him. Never allow anyone to pressure you into signing a contingency contract. They're used as sales tools, making you feel committed, and the truth is, those contracts are not worth the paper they're written on. Be careful of door-knocking salesmen. Some are reputable, but many are not. They canvass the neighborhood and tell everyone to file a claim, working their percentages and not caring if you file a claim even when they know the likelihood of it being approved is low. Some will even damage your roof hoping to convince the adjuster it's storm damage. That's fraud, and contractors have gone to jail for that. So do your research and know who you're hiring. Five-Ash Roofing, the official roof of the University of Memphis Athletic Department. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Let me me ask you a question. How do you feel about genetically modified ingredients?
Don't like them.
Artificial flavors and colors?
No thanks.
Clean ingredients.
Now that I like.
When you care about what's in things and what's not, shouldn't your vitamins be clean too? Sundown vitamins are all clean all the time. Non-GMO, free of gluten and dairy, with colors and flavors from real food. We even have USDA certified Sundown Organics and kids vitamins too. When you're living clean, choose clean with Sundown vitamins at supermarkets, drugstores, or on Amazon.
Book a Caribbean vacation for your mouth at Curry and Jerk. So you are Arturo, and you came together with Ricardo to create Curry and Jerk for what?
To bring people together, to share our culture and letting people smile by eating the food that we're used to. We wanted to bring the combination of the West Indies culture to share right here in America with others.
And you don't have to go all the way to the Caribbean to have a taste of the Caribbean. You can have it right here in downtown Memphis.
That is absolutely correct.
Chef Ricardo, tell me a little bit about Sunday brunch.
Yeah, our Sunday brunch is like something different that you will get. It's like a mixture of the Caribbean mixed with the basic type of brunch people used to here in Memphis, but we just turn it up a notch with our Caribbean spices and flavor, and it is such a big difference.
At Curry and Jerk, located in the heart of downtown Memphis at 126 Monroe. Lunch daily from 11 to 2, dinner Tuesday through Thursday 5 to 10, Friday and Saturday 4 to 11.
Hey, you guys, Memphis Paints and Sports 56 are teaming up Friday, July 19th. Come win lots of door prizes, 4 golf rounds at Wedgwood, gift cards at the Butcher Shop, and 2 lucky people win 2 box seats to the FedEx World Championship Golf Tournament, valued at $400 apiece. Wow, don't forget, complimentary Central Barbecue, yum. See y'all Friday, July 19th, Memphis Paints, 699 South Mendenhall, across the street from Half Shell. Come hungry.
Memphis Paint, 699 Mendenhall, Friday, July 19th. Sports 56 live from 3 to 6 p.m.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
It's a little bass groove underneath there. Ooh, that's nice. I like it. Here in the Family Leisure Studios, 2120 Whitten Road is where you'll find Family Leisure, just north of I-40. Go see them. Pool clearance sale ends this weekend. It is the time for you to take advantage of it. It's super duper hot, super duper humid. It is a perfect time to go and jump in a pool, and you can do that. If you just go talk to the folks at Family Leisure, they work with you. They got lots of financing available, 12-month financing still available. You got, at least 2 months of pool weather still left, at least. Probably more than that, honestly. Around here, it can often be first week of October, second week of October. It's still quite hot. So you get that pool, you will love it, and go get it over at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. The weather's starting to threaten over at Royal Portwish in the Open Championship. It is starting to move in a little bit. A lot of guys have taken advantage of a really wonderful set of conditions here early on and beaten up the course pretty good by Open Championship standards, but I think that's going to change a little bit. More bad luck for Rory and the guys that are going out late today. He's still not teed off. They're going to face what looks like it's going to be a significantly tougher challenge, and it may be better for Tiger to get off the course, given his back and all that stuff. He'll be off the course probably before the worst of it starts rolling in. I mentioned the little grisly rumor that is kind of making the rounds. And I gotta give a shout out to my buddy Keith Parrish over at Fast Break Breakfast. They do a podcast up there. Keith's in the Nashville area, but he's holding it down for the Grizzly fans up in Nashville. But Keith tweeted out fairly late last night. Team source confirms to him that the Memphis Grizzlies will wear Vancouver Grizzlies throwback jerseys for selected games coming up next year. Now, I don't know if this is, who knows if this is true or not. And sometimes the Grizzlies have been known to change their plans here and there. So I don't know if you can say this is absolutely 100% certain until you see it out there. But the mock-up that is being thrown out there is that old teal Grizzly with the big giant grizzly bear on the side of the shorts. And I know within the organization that there has been some resistance to doing this in the past, but I think a lot of people have been really clamoring for something like this. This throwback, you can go back. This would have been like the kind of the late 99, 2000, the Grizzlies uniforms right before they moved to, I guess, I don't know the exact year, but it was right before they would have moved here in 2001. I love them. And I've talked about this a lot, that this is something that I think would be a no-brainer. I don't know that if the throwback, the only issue would be if you throw back the jersey, do you throw it back? The style, of course, would remain the same. You got the big grizzly bear. You got that garish grizzly logo like right in the middle of it with like tons of all kinds of like it's huge and bold and crazy. And you got the little lining sort of thing ringing around that's got its own little. It's just that's classic, late 90s, over the top, loud teal, the very strong teal. Teal was a big thing. Everyone was wearing teal back in those days. You had several teams working on the teal. Grizzlies prominent among them. It looks, to me, it looks fantastic as a throwback. Now, that being said, do you wear it with Vancouver on the name rather than Memphis? Do you change the old school Vancouver because of the controversy? Like, look, you've got the you got the old controversial move. It's still hurt feelings, understandably so, in Vancouver. They don't like it one bit. Would this be a little bit of a slap in the face to that market, to them, to kind of to roll out there with a Vancouver, knowing where this thing comes? Has enough time passed? It's been almost 20 years. Has enough time passed to be able to just confidently roll out the Vancouver and have that be considered like an homage and a tip of the cap rather than a kind of a little wink and a smirk at Vancouver? That I don't know. I don't know if you would change that because the name says it's Vancouver, kind of small, and the Grizzlies, they got the big G, the big S, and then the Risley in the middle is a little bit smaller, and you put the name of the city over the top of that. There's a little spot there for it. Would you change that to Memphis? But if you change it to Memphis, then it's not a throwback anymore. Then it's like it's sort of an homage to it, but it's not a throwback. The throwback would be like you got to throw it back like it was. You got to play it like it was. And so, to me, I'm fine with it. I don't know the folks in Vancouver would be. I don't know if that's still there. There's still some connection there. Maybe more. I don't know if enough time's passed. Again, I'm not in Vancouver, so I don't know what those folks would think. And I think you do have to be a little bit respectful of that. I think you have to be a little bit respectful of what those folks are dealing with. Because hell, look at how many discussions we've had around here, and how many people have discussed and talked with me and asked me. I've had it's been dozens and dozens and dozens over the last couple of years. Oh, are we sure the team's staying? What about is Parra going to move him to wherever? Is Parra going to do this? Oh, he's going to do that. There's all these conspiracy theories. So like you can understand, for Vancouver, this is going to be a little bit of a slap in the face to them. Think about if the Grizzlies were to someday move and the team throws back to when they were in Memphis. That's kind of rough. But from a fashion standpoint, I love it. Love throwbacks. Love those. My favorite. I like the designs that we've seen on some of these elements. They've gotten a little more creative with some of the jerseys. Really like the baby blues, and you saw the Grizzlies wear those more and more because they just were extremely popular and very fashionable, and they look good. The throwbacks, they can be kind of hit or miss, but in general, I love them. I absolutely, I love the TAMs. I love the sounds with the cursive and the red. That looked, straight ABA style was fantastic. And I think we are ready. I think enough time has passed. I would be great with them doing this. Now they're going to do all the official stuff next month. Usually it's middle of August, late August is when they start to kind of do this. They'll announce the Grizzlies' schedule will come out a little bit earlier in the month, and then they'll do all this announcement and put all this stuff together, later on. So to me, this would be a massive seller. The only question to me is, do you change the Vancouver to Memphis? But otherwise, I think people would run out, and they would not be able to make enough of these.
My all-time favorite Grizzlies jersey.
Especially, you're talking about the one that's being discussed as the throwback?
Yes.
Would you change the Vancouver to Memphis? Because then it's not a throwback at that point.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going throwback, you've got to keep it Vancouver. That's the whole point of a throwback. I think what I wish they would do is bring that jersey back, and then you could change it to Memphis. But if it's just a strictly throwback jersey, you got to keep it Vancouver. I wanted to bring that jersey back, though, make it one of their home jerseys. I love that jersey.
Now, does that hurt? Does that hurt Vancouver? Like, are you worried about their feelings at all? Like, it's still fairly raw in some people's minds. There, it hasn't even been 20 years. So some of them are still upset. Would you feel like that's a little bit of a I don't know, not a slap in the face intentionally, but if think about if the team had moved from Memphis and you saw them 15, 20 years later rolling out Memphis jerseys like that'd probably dig a little bit in the hearts of some of those fans.
Yeah, I mean, I could see where it might. I mean, it obviously wouldn't be the intention behind it. But at the same time, I mean, the team did get moved, and it's not the team's fault they got moved.
No,
I mean,
no, it's not their fault.
I feel like the jersey is not like if you just have the jersey, I feel like that's not a slap in the face. I mean, honestly, it's not like you can change the fact that the team got moved. So I don't know if I don't see why the jersey should be that big of a deal. Maybe that's just the way I think, though. Maybe they would hate it, but I don't know. To me, the jersey shouldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, the team is not there anymore, so.
Well, I mean, that's all the more reason, though. That's like it's just a constant reminder of what it was.
I mean, you'll have to forgive me for this because I was pretty young when the Grizzlies came about, so I don't remember much about their time in Vancouver. Were the Vancouver fans that into them? Like, were they pretty serious about that team?
Yeah, I mean, again, it was difficult to figure out because it was really, I mean, it's really wild when you think about it. To go back, like they were only there for 6-7 years. I mean, they weren't there for very long, and they just packed up and moved. Like it was that quick. Michael Heisley moved them for financial reasons. Part of it was the arena that they were in wasn't. It was a hockey arena there for the Canucks, and but they had pretty good fans. I mean, I don't think the fan base was the reason they left. I think it was a more of a money situation, but it was surprising how quick it is, and it still blows my mind. Like it's hard for me to wrap my mind around where we are and how the Grizzlies have been here for almost 20 years. Like I still can't quite. It still feels in some ways fresh and new, even though it's been here for a long time. And they're a part of the fundamental groundwork of Memphis sports. Like they're here. They're part of it. It's crazy to me because I guess having grown up without them and then knowing what a huge, massive deal it was when they were able to come to the city, like that put Memphis on the map in a way that we haven't been before. We finally got a major league franchise, and as a basketball town, it was a perfect fit, and they've done, I mean, pretty darn well, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I still want them to do it. I love that jersey. I think it's awesome. I liked the black away jersey too, with the green trim and the red trim.
Mm-hmm.
I loved those jerseys. That jersey set was awesome. And I feel like even if some of the Vancouver people, because I feel like Vancouver's probably not going to just hold a grudge for too long on that. I feel like they'd get over it in the sense of if it did offend some of them, I think that even the most diehard Vancouver Grizzlies fan would probably realize it wasn't an intentional slap to the face. It's just a popular jersey. But again, I'm no Michael Heisley, I'm no Zach Kleiman, but I feel like it's not a huge bad move to bring that jersey back.
No, I mean, I think purely from a marketing standpoint, they would sell 1 million of them, and it would just be flying off the shelves. And especially the mock-ups have shown Ja Morant wearing the jersey, and Ja himself,
he loves it.
Ja himself weighed in and said, "Is this real?" So somebody should clue Ja in at some point because Ja's wondering, and like we all are, like, is this going to happen? We'll find out officially next month. But I can see them. I can see them throwing that out there. If he gets off to a great start, and people, Jaren Jaron had a wonderful rookie campaign. It was cut a little bit short injury-wise. And they were extra cautious with Jaron, I should point out. Like he could have come back and played if push had come to shove. He could have played late in the season. They were being unbelievably cautious, let's just say. Because they weren't they reached the point with that pick where they weren't really fussed one way or the other about, am I going to worry about conveying, not going to convey? I'm not bothered either way. So they didn't push as hard as they could have to make sure that they conveyed the pick, and obviously it worked out well for them to do that. But Jaron had a great year, but Jaron is not like Mr. Highlight Reel. He's not going to get on SportsCenter. His personality's great, and he's a funny kid. And I say kid because, man, he is super immature. But I mean that in the best way. Like he's a kid. Like he bounds around out there. He's having fun. It's the way you should be when you're not even 20 years old and doing quite well in the NBA. But he's not gonna finish tons of dunks. He's not like gonna be, doing windmills and that kind of thing. Like his play is much more defensive oriented, much more the little things. He's really a smart, high IQ sort of player. That doesn't necessarily translate, especially in a small market, to highlights. Ja Morant could be the highlight reel. Ja Morant, if he gets off to a great start and starts throwing lobs and starts, alley-oops and, breaking guys down off the dribble and dunking on people and all the stuff that he could theoretically do. I mean, this guy could come into the league and be one of the best passers right out of the gate, capable of some stuff that very few guys are capable of. If he does that, then these jerseys with him on them are going to be nuclear. So
they would sell more jerseys with these guys' names on them they've ever sold before, I feel like.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about just to regular NBA fans who aren't necessarily Grizzly fans. I think the Grizzly fans will eat it up either way. But Ja is a potential jersey seller and a potential superstar type guy in a way that none of their other players have been since I can remember. I mean, Jay Will's the kind of guy that we're talking about, like that you see every night on the top 10s and all the highlights and stuff, just on Twitter, like, oh, did you see this? Ja can be that guy. There's not a lot of Grizzlies that have been that guy. Zach, Mark, Tony, Mike, those guys are all really good. They were never highlight reel guys. No one's out there watching, oh, look at this little 15-foot fadeaway from Zach Randolph. Look at him get this rebound. I mean, that hasn't translated to highlights. Ja Morant's going to translate to highlights. And if he's in this jersey, the sucker's going to sell big time. 67129. Let me know what you think on the First Bank text line, 360-8255. On the First Bank phone lines. Oh, I see our buddy Jarvo wants to jump in. We'll take a break and we'll get to Jarvo on the other side. Look forward to hearing what Jarvo has to say about this when we return here on The Experience. Live and local here at the Family Leisure Studio, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Where Memphis comes for real sports talk. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Memphis's hometown event is taking on a new identity. The World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational makes its debut at TPC Southwind, July 24th through 28th. Don't miss PGA Tour superstars Justin Thomas, Brooks Koepka, and more.
Join me, Dustin Johnson, when I return to TPC Southwind. Tickets are on sale at WGCFedEx.com.
There are more reasons to visit 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination that could possibly be covered in one 30-second radio commercial. For instance, it's not nearly enough to say that Prime has downtown's best oyster bar. It's not just an oyster bar. The oysters are served with house-made sauces you literally can't get anywhere else. It's not just oysters at Prime. It's also the amazing shrimp cocktail or lobster salad, or even the seafood tower with oysters, shrimp, lobster, tuna, crab, and smoked salmon. As always, if it's Prime, it's just better than anywhere else. Because after all, it's Prime.
No matter what your past credit, no matter how much you owe on your trade, no matter if you tried to buy at another deal and were turned down, Sunrise Buick GMC can get you financed. There's never been a better time to trade. Sunrise has hundreds of new vehicles and over $5 million in used car inventory, specializing in cars and trucks under $10,000. Sunrise has the lowest prices and will not be undersold. Bad credit, bankrupt, slow pay, Sunrise gets you financed when no one else can. Check out the inventory and apply online at sunrisememphis.com. The blowout sale going on now at all Sunrise locations, Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Are you tired of all the clouds and bad weather? Rain brings pollutants that can wreak havoc on your car's finish, but there is someone who can help. Car Wash USA Express has introduced their most advanced car wash yet with the exclusive Polymer Pro Wash, creating a stronger, more consistent protective sealant for your car's finish. Polymer Pro can only be found at Car Wash USA Express, where attendants are always on duty to keep you and your vehicle safe. For more information and locations, visit carwashusaexpress.com. Car Wash USA Express, because a dirty car is a dirty shame.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Oh, we're debating. Willie, won't he? Oh, crazy. Got to get to, Jarvo has promised. Jarvo, you think Tiger's coming?
I don't know, Peter. That, if he plays well today and somehow makes the cut.
Yeah, that ain't happening. That ain't happening.
That's going to be tough. He can play well and not make the cut. It just depends on what everybody, if the weather stays.
Well, as it stands right now, the weather's getting worse, and he's 4 over. The cut line would have to drop quite a bit. He's got about one. He's on 17, so he's got a little ways to go. I don't think he's making the cut. Doesn't look like it. I'll put it that way.
I would say chances are better if he doesn't make the cut than if he does. But that's up to Tiger. I will not be disappointed if he doesn't. There'll be a little bit of disappointment, but not much, because you got 47 of the top 50 committed, and you might get one or two more of those. And I think for Tiger, he's already said that he doesn't know how much longer he's going to be out here. Is the more tournaments he plays in a year, especially like back-to-back, going to lessen his time overall, to play golf. So, and then the ones he really wants to play, and that's in the points thing at the end of the year. So it would be a little bit of a disappointment, but it's still a fabulous feeling. It's like an all-star game coming. And the only reason why one of us out here is basically because of injury. He's got to save himself. He's a lot older now than he was, when he was a kid, making all the great things that he was doing. So
I don't know.
You still got 47 of the top 50.
That's true. So. Oh yeah, the field is spectacular.
He just bogeyed, by the way. He's 5 over now.
Yeah, now he's. I just saw that. So yeah, he's not. He ain't making the cut.
Okay, so he's coming, right?
I don't know. Again, it was funny that as we were talking, the Tiger Tracker, Golf Channel Tiger Tracker, just tweeted out. Somebody asked him about Memphis, and the Tiger Tracker says absolutely no clue. So no one, even the people that are their job is to follow Tiger, have no idea. But we're going to find out after this hole. I would guess in the next hour we should probably hear something from somebody about whether or not he's going to play.
Yeah, how do they do that? Do their handlers do that? Or
yeah, it's usually his agent.
Themselves?
Sometimes the play. If it it depends on the situation, but typically if the player's asked, Tiger may get asked about it, but his agent normally is the one who would kind of pass that along. So that's typically how it works. But you were calling about the jerseys. What do you think?
Oh. I think it's a great thing. As far as, whether, if it's going to be a slap in the face or a shot to the people in Vancouver, that's up to them. We can't say anything about that because we aren't the ones that are being offended if there was any kind of offense taken. I think it's been enough time, but there are still Grizzlies fans in Vancouver because they get on sites every now and then when the Grizzlies do something, especially when they were going to their playoff stretch there. But, the Grizzlies, you were talking about, wow, they moved, and is it the sting of it and all that business. In talking to former commissioner of the NBA and also Michael Heisler, the Grizzlies were born basically because the NBA had decided they were ready to expand into the Canadian market. They knew they wanted Toronto, but they needed another team in the West to go along with it. Up popped Vancouver because they had just built the building for the Canucks, the NHL team, and they needed another team to go in there to help, to defray the cost of that building, have another tenant. So, they were basically treated like a second-class citizen in that tenant because all the advertising dollars and everything else went to the Canucks. And Michael Heisley, it was all about money. Yeah, they had plenty of fans, and their season ticket base was really good. And I don't know if you've ever been to Vancouver, but it's a huge metropolitan city. But it's
I've heard lovely things. I've never been, but I've heard it's beautiful.
Several TV series have been shot up there, and it's it's right on the ocean, and it's right there, and the mountains are right there with it. It's Vancouver. It's kind of like Seattle. Just
that's
Canadian.
Not too far. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not too far. It's right just across the border. So.
Weather is concerned. It's kind of what it's like.
That's right. Well, listen.
But like flowers and all this, it's really something. I mean, it is. If you go up there and if you ever have been there, you say, God, how did that team leave there and come here? But it was mainly about the fact that Michael Heisley didn't like having to pay U.S. money, and he was only getting in Canadian dollars. You know what I mean? The exchange rate, he said, was killing him. And then he wasn't able to make the secondary money, like, the advertising dollars because, the Canucks.
No, I mean, I get all that. I mean, there were reasons for obviously the reasons they left, but I'm pointing out as I'm trying to be empathetic here to the people of Toronto or the people of Vancouver rather. Like that's tough. But by the same token, if you change it to Memphis, then it's then it's not really a throwback at that point. Then it's just sort of an homage.
Well,
to them.
They sell the Vancouver Grizzlies ball caps in the team store. My son's got one. It actually looks pretty cool.
Oh, I think it'd be great.
It's I think they would buy them. And I think the Canadian, Vancouver people would buy them if they did that. Buy some throwback like that.
I hope so.
Especially if they're good. And John Morant is destined to be a star. And if he threw one on, that'd be an instant seller anywhere.
He's got all that star written all over him. Jarvo, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.
Hey, man, always a party.
You the man. Jarvo! My guy Jarvo. Love my guy Jarvo. Jarvis Greer. Now, we just interesting little stat that crossed the path with another bogey from Phil Mickelson, who's not off to a particularly good start. He's at 7 over now for the tournament. He is likely to miss the cut. Tiger is now almost certain to miss the cut, and he's driven into the rough on 18 on top of everything else. This would be now the 83rd major. This is from Bob Herrig of ESPN. This is the 83rd major in which both Tiger and Phil have played, and this would be the first time that both of them would have missed the cut. That's amazing. 83rd major in which Phil and Tiger have both played. First time they would have both missed the cut. Father Time remains undefeated. Is there a Mother Time? Is Father Time married? It's always Father Time. It's never Mother Time. It's Mother Nature. Maybe Father Time is married to Mother Nature. Is that how that works? Things to think about. Where's Father Nature and Mother Time? That's what I want to know. Where are they shacking up? How's this working? Are we in one of those open relationships? I don't know.
They're seeing other people.
I guess so. I hope Father Time and Mother
He didn't
Nature
put a ring on it, man.
Get it together. Fantastic. All right, so we are a couple shots away from probably finding out whether Tiger's going to be in or out. And it really is it's a true mystery at this point. No one seems to know. Greg Gaston is pessimistic over there. Boy, I tell you. Trying to put
Greg thinks Tiger hates Memphis.
Trying to put a little positivity out on this thing. We'll see. Still nothing yet. We'll find out maybe in the next hour. Coming up, Chris Raby's going to join me to begin hour number 3 of The Experience here in the Family Leisure Studios. Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Bases loaded here at the top of the 9th. And the pitch. And it's out of here.
We deliver baseball caps, mitts, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
Wallow and Stats will be on location at the Spirit Shop, 4848 Poplar Avenue, Tuesday, July 23rd from 3 to 6. You'll be able to join in on a whiskey tasting event from 3 to 7. Sports 56 will have lots of prizes, like rounds of golf at Wedgwood, maybe a Butcher Shop gift card, and 2 very lucky people will win 2-box tickets to the World Golf Tournament. Central Barbecue will be on hand to fill your belly. Wallow and Stats on location at the Spirit Shop, Tuesday, July 23rd from 3 to 6 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Valero salutes you and all your finest moments. For those times you go beyond what you thought possible. Whether that looks like running that extra mile or that extra errand. For taking on a new challenge, a new adventure, or a new route to work. Wherever life's finest moments take you, get there with the finest fuel. Valero top-tier certified quality fuel. It keeps your engine running cleaner, better, and longer. Find a station near you at ValeroCleanGas.com.
Hi, folks. Rob Walker, Infiniti of Memphis, and we've got a new Infiniti crossover vehicle that has raised the standard of comparison to a new level. Imagine having both sports car performance and eco-friendly efficiency on demand, working together to empower every driving experience. The result of 20 years of engineering, QX50's award-winning variable compression turbo engine is the world's only engine of its kind. Like 2 engines in one, it delivers a combination of power and efficiency that is truly in a category all its own, and only Infiniti has it. You'll never sacrifice performance for the sake of efficiency again. And QX50 MSRP starts at only $36,550, which is less than its Acura, Audi, and Mercedes competitors. Add to that QX50's award-winning sumptuous interior, and you have the best combination of performance and comfort in the mid-size crossover segment.
MSRP excludes destination charge, tax, title, license, and options. Infiniti of Memphis or online at infinityofmemphis.com.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Join the Midday Show this Friday at Landers Ford on Poplar in Collierville. This is your chance to get a free pair of tickets to the World Golf Championship. There are lots of deals on all Ford cars and trucks. Plus, our friends at Moe's will be providing lunch. That's this Friday the 19th from 10 to 1 for free golf tickets and other great prizes. See you there. Landers Ford, 2082 West Poplar Avenue, Collierville.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Look, add into the music, Peter. I like it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. What? All right. I can't.
Freestyle.
I would just do that the whole show. That would just be the rest of the show if you kept that on.
The song was about 4 minutes and 40 seconds. So
I can't help it, man. That's what's going to happen. That's what I would be doing in the car probably. Just that's right. Yeah. Oh. Welcome back. Hour number 3. We're attempting to effort Chris Raby, who you never know. Stuff happens, but we're going to do our best. to take care of Chris. He'll join me momentarily, I hope. Fingers crossed. Let's find out together, shall we? Very much like Tiger. Tiger is getting, he's about to hit his third shot, what should be a lengthy putt for birdie, or maybe even a chip. I don't know. Does he have it? I can't. No, he's putting. Lengthy putt coming up for birdie. If he makes it, he might have a tiniest little chance of making the cut if the conditions get absolutely brutal. But I would say it's very, very unlikely at this point that he's going to make the cut, and he left his putt about 3,000 feet short.
That was a horrible effort.
I don't know what happened there, but now Tiger very likely to bogey this hole, so you can.
I think that's a I've given up.
Yeah, that was an alarming stroke there. He was about, I don't know, he had a 75, 80 feet away, lot of rough. He's putting through the fairway onto the green, as you do. At the Open Championship, that's pretty common. And he left it. Seriously, he left it 25 feet short. Like, that is just. That's not good. He's got a long way to go, and he's certainly not he's not making the cut. And now he's not catching Shane Lowry, that's for sure. Shane Lowry is playing out of his mind right now. He is absolutely killing it every time out. He is pin high again with about 15 feet for another birdie. He's at 9 under par, 5 under par through his first 8 holes today. And people are, crowd's going crazy because he's an Irishman, and so it's in Northern Ireland. It's you got a lot of your countrymen right there, not too far, and he is just killing it, as I mentioned. We're gonna wait and find out coming up here in just a little bit. If I think we'll find out within the hour. I feel like we may find out before the show's over about Tiger one way or the other. There is a deadline later on this afternoon to find out. Also, we're still kind of waiting for the possibility of Ricky Fowler and Francesco Molinari. We will see what they do. Not with respect to those two, not quite as worried about them.
I hope Ricky comes. I like watching Ricky.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I'd like to see Francesco, and really because I want to see all 50. I want to see all that would put you at the 40. If those three come, Tiger, Francesco, and Ricky, that puts you at all 50 of the top 50, which would be great. Tiger misses his par putt. He will tap in for a bogey, and now we will await post round. Are you coming to Memphis? Coming to Memphis. Tiger puts the ball in the hole, and he yells, "I'm coming to Memphis." No, I didn't.
Peter, don't.
See you in Memphis. Woo! That's what he said. No, he did not. He did not say that at all. Text at 67129 coming in. If you texter wants to know what time is Tiger going to use the bathroom next. Great question. I'd guess here shortly. He did not go on the course that I saw. There are porta potties out there. He has been known. I've seen Tiger do that before. He's taken a little potty break, so that does happen sometimes, but not this time. Well, but that's a great question. Keep those kind of questions coming in. That's the level we're looking for, questioning wise, here on the program as we await Chris Raby, who's expected to join me coming up here in just a little bit. As we talked about, nothing. What are you gonna? What are you gonna do? We talked. We talked about these throwbacks, and I think this could well be the all timer if they play their cards right on this one, and they get a little highlight boost from Ja Morant early in the year. He could be the ticket to the kind of exposure for the Grizzlies that has not happened yet. A lot of people have talked a lot about in the past the Grizzlies not getting a ton of attention nationally, and part of that is market based, of course, but that didn't stop a lot of. Milwaukee is obviously all over. Now they're very successful, but they're also successful because Giannis is full of highlights. If you have a player who puts up routinely highlight level performances, then you're going to get on the highlights more often. That's just kind of common sense at this point. We saw even when the Grizzlies were at their absolute best, you didn't see a ton of highlights from Mark and Mike and Tony and Zebo or not. That those guys did not do stuff that was necessarily all that indicative of like highlight reel stuff. You didn't see like, oh my God, look at that incredible solid floater from Mike Conley. Like, that's not going to get on the highlights, even though it's very good, and they're all very good at what they do. But highlights are obviously different, especially now, because you have to break through. There's so much going on, and there's so many different things that people have access to, and attention spans are ever shortening. You have social media. You got to break through. A guy like Ja can break through. A guy like Ja has the capability of, making passes, making plays, that we just haven't seen around here. And I think that's part of the issue that the Grizzlies have had. It's not been necessarily about the market or anything else. I don't think it's about disrespect of Memphis or disrespect of those performances. I think it's been just about, do you have guys that are going to be able to put that up? I mean, has San Antonio been all over the highlight reels? Not really. I mean, they were obviously televised a lot when they were winning, but they weren't like, just it wasn't all over the place. Because, those guys, they didn't have highlight. Kawhi is great. Tim Duncan was great. But they're just very consistent, steady performers. Same thing with it seemed like Utah and all this. You didn't, and unless there were guys that were highlight worthy guys, you're not going to see all of that. And so with this throwback, you got to sell these jerseys. Who's going to sell more jerseys than Ja throwing all these things? I don't see it. I think he's going to be next level. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that possibility. But nothing's official. Nothing's official. They'll do. And here's the other thing. All these jersey things, you're not really able to do it that quickly, because you have to get everything approved by the NBA months and months and months in advance. In fact, the Grizzlies, their redesigned Nike uniforms had to be done like 18 months in advance, because they need that much lead time for the production and everything else that Nike does for these jerseys when they switched over to Nike. Now you can have a little less lead time for they're allowed basically a change jersey every year, a particular specialized jersey. This would probably qualify as that. And you don't need as much lead time on that, but you do need a lot of lead time for these jerseys. You do need, it's not something that you can just decide a couple months out, like, oh, we're going to do this. Like, this has to be in the works. Yeah, they were planning these jerseys last year at this time. So whatever it's going to be, they tend to try to keep it under wraps. They've got all kinds of prototypes and things that have to go back and forth. It might be a happy coincidence that you get to time it with Ja Morant, but it's not like something that you can just on the fly be like, you know what, I would like this design, let's just go ahead and do it. Like, no, it takes a lot of planning to pull all this stuff off. Now they could start to plan for 2021. They could do all that right about now, but it's going to take a while for that to come through. So again, we'll wait and see. But my buddy Keith Parrish, he's got that out there. Says the team source confirms to him that they are going to throw those out, which they very well could be. There'll be something official about that coming up a little bit later on. We were talking also about the fallout from the SEC Media Day, such as it is. Also, there was a little, and again, I think we are using the word controversy here a little loosely, because, is it controversial? I don't know. But Jim Harbaugh, yesterday on the Athletics TK show, old TK podcast, which is nice. My colleagues over at the Athletic getting a little mini scoop over here. Harbaugh said, Urban Meyer's had a winning record, really phenomenal record everywhere he's been, but also controversy follows everywhere he's been. Now, some people are saying, Austin, this is a shot. This is a dig. Is there anything to this? Is there anything that is notable other than a very, very mild note of, hey, this guy's had a lot of crazy stuff happen? Well, no kidding. And a lot of bad stuff has followed him around, and a lot of bad decisions, and et cetera, et cetera. Is there any sort of, is there anything notable about Jim Harbaugh making a comment like this?
He's not wrong.
No, he's definitely not wrong.
I don't see any problem with it. I think it's just part of the rivalry. I mean, Jim Harbaugh, I think the biggest issue is people are like, well, he hadn't beaten him. He can't say anything. They're not wrong either. He hasn't beaten him, but it's not like a shot. It's just a truthful statement.
So is it controversial that he is saying it, though?
I don't know. I mean, I believe it was me and you were talking about this the other day. The trash talk yesterday. We were talking about kind of wanting more trash talk between coaches. In today's college coach professionalism day and age, I guess you would say, does it break decorum for him to say something like that? I think he was just answering a question. I don't have a problem with it.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think that, like, I'm in favor of trash talk, like as a I differentiate between trash talk and like sort of passive aggressive swipes. Like that's a difference to me. I differentiate between like, okay, let's get some trash talk in and let's get some, let's take a little shot, that kind of thing. I don't buy that. If you could, hey, we've made contact with Chris. Hey, Austin, see if you can do next. We'll take a little early break and do it next segment. I don't want to bring him on it because at 15 we have to, it wouldn't work. So see if you can do that. We're efforting. We'll get Chris on in our next segment. I don't want like passive aggressive swipes. I don't want like, controversy follows. I don't know. To me, that's pretty timid and like kind of that's some weak sauce. I mean, if you're going to come at him, just come at him or don't. I'm more about like trash talk like on the field, or more about trash talk like in a we beat you, that kind of thing. Like if you want to take little shots at people, that's fine. I mean, it doesn't have the same impact to me. That's more of a passive aggressive approach. I don't want that so much. I don't want a little, especially. I mean, again, for Harbaugh, at the end of the day, like it's all well and good to be clean in the program, and that's wonderful, and everything's cool, but you got to beat this guy. I mean, that's pretty simple. Harbaugh has won a lot of games. He's 38-14 in Michigan, but what's the record against Ohio State? What's the record against Michigan State? What's the record against Notre Dame? What's the record in those big games? 1-6. Not ideal. And Harbaugh, by the way, against Urban Meyer, 0-4. Now, Lord knows we've talked about Urban Meyer's hypocrisy and ridiculous lack of accountability on his programs and everything else. So, no question, he's ripe for being ripped, no doubt. But Harbaugh doing it's not either do it or don't. Don't go halfway with it. Like, this is a little shot, and you leave yourself open to the fact that you haven't beaten anybody. I think Michigan.
I think that's the biggest issue with it is that he hasn't beaten anybody.
You got to beat him. It would be much more effective if there was something on the competitive side that was backing it up, but there really isn't a whole lot right now. And he says, Harbaugh said, "You welcome the accountability. All you can be judged on is your record. What your record is overall. What your record is in your conference. What your record is."
I have breaking news.
Uh-oh, we got it.
Tiger Woods is not coming to Memphis. He says, per quote from the Tiger Tracker, going to take a couple of weeks off and get ready for the playoffs. That means no Memphis next week.
Why does he hate Memphis so much?
Okay, Greg, calm down.
He clearly hates Memphis.
So it's a shame. I was rooting for him. I really wanted him to come. Man, it's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see him in person, Maybe next year.
Tiger. I was really, really holding out some hope. Going to take a couple weeks off and get ready for the playoffs, he says. No Tiger. Well, I guess you just have to settle for 47 of the top 50.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, Tiger's not.
It's gonna be a terrible turnout.
Tiger's not playing well anyway, so he's not gonna win the thing.
But man, it would have been it would be incredible to have him here.
Is he ever gonna come? Maybe the guy's never gonna come.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, maybe he's never gonna be here. Well, I gotta say that
that's disappointing. A Tiger Tracker bomb.
Can't believe it. Just. Oh well. I mean, I like to. I'm gonna act. I'm gonna try to act all cool. Like, I didn't want him to come anyway. I didn't want him to be.
Yeah, we didn't need him.
We didn't. You didn't want him to be in our city. We didn't need Tiger. Why is Tiger? Why don't you love us?
He says, "I just want to go home." That's his latest quote.
I just want to go home.
I just want to go home.
Good Lord. This Open
Poor
champion.
guy. Taking a lot out of it.
This Open took a lot out of Tiger. Jeez Louise. Oh, my God. Okay, well, let's tell you what. After this, I got to take a break. We're going to talk to Chris Raby, and maybe he'll help us feel better. I doubt it.
Raby's a pretty fun guy. He's pretty uplifting type of guy.
He is, but even Raby's, it's just too much. Just too much. Oh, man, no Tiger. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. Let's all recover as best we can from this. Breaking news. No Tiger. That sucks. Back after this here in the Family Leisure Studios. Our friends at Acura Memphis bringing this hour of the program, by the way. That makes me feel a little bit better. I like, there's good people out there. There's good folks out there. They're happy, in fact, to work with you, to get you in the automobile that you need. That always makes me feel better. Hey, go take a test drive. Go take a test drive. Test how great that air conditioning system is. Test how great all the tech is inside the automobile. That really, it helps it helps you drive and helps keep you super safe, but it's not hard to use. Like a lot of these tech can be kind of complicated, and this is very easy to deal with. It's a fun ride with a ton of security, ton of safety, and a ton of luxury, which makes you feel pretty darn great when you're driving around in either that RLX, TLX, ILX. Great models there. And then you got the MDX, the RDX on the SUV side. You're going to love it. Check it out. Again, it's Acura of Memphis. Online, AcuraMemphis.com. Go see them at 385 and Ridgeway. Back after this with my man Chris Raby. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Chris, I understand that you had some spine issues that were very debilitating, and Schrader Orthopedic actually changed your life. What happened?
After spinal fusion surgery 24 years ago, I could feel bones rubbing together. I had sciatic issues, arthritis. I had been told I needed another fusion surgery because I was having problems with getting out of bed, walking, carrying my child. I went to Schrader Orthopedics, got the stem cell therapy. It's been a year now. And my life has changed. I get up, I bounce out of bed, I can carry my daughter, I can do yard work, so completely changed. Basically, I forgot the pain I was in prior to that time. I felt like I was in my 20s and was able to do things that I wasn't able to play golf without being in pain for 2 days. Most of it was the neurological benefit of not having that pain every minute of your life.
Call 901-465-4300 and see how Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell can help you today.
Family Leisure's pool clearance sale is July 8th through the 21st. Above ground pools starting at $11.99. 24-foot pools starting at $17.99. And you can get free upgrades on select pools that include pool filters, liners, and winter covers. Special 12-month financing is available. Plus, half off on toys, floats, and pool games. Summer's just started. There's plenty of time to swim, so make a splash at the Family Leisure Pool Clearance Sale. Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hey, you guys, Memphis Paints and Sports 56 are teaming up Friday, July 19th. Come win lots of door prizes, 4 golf rounds at Wedgwood, gift cards at the Butcher Shop, and 2 lucky people win 2 box seats to the FedEx World Championship Golf Tournament, valued at $400 apiece. Wow, don't forget, complimentary Central Barbecue, yum. See y'all Friday, July 19th, Memphis Paints, 699 South Mendenhall, across the street from Half Shell. Come hungry.
Memphis Paints, 699 Mendenhall, Friday, July 19th. Sports 56 live from 3 to 6 p.m.
The decision to put hardwoods on your floor actually isn't all that hard, because the Home Depot has Bruce Plano Marsh Oak solid hardwood flooring at a new low price of just $289 a square foot. It was $379. Your floors will give you the great look you want now and a boosted resale value later when it's time to sell your home. Today is the day for doing and for adding value with Bruce Plano hardwood flooring for just $289 a square foot. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Offer valid through August 4th.
You don't have to go all the way to the Caribbean to have a taste of the Caribbean. You can have it right here in downtown Memphis. Curry and jerk, coconut shrimp. Chef Ricardo, give the people a little bit of a description of what those coconut shrimp are like.
One of the main ingredients, we got sweet shredded coconut in it. So You just gotta hop on down, come to 126 Monroe Avenue. We make it fresh every day.
Man, and then you have festival breads that are also made in-house.
You got a lot of different type of festival bread like recipe, but the one that we got at Curry and Jerk is different from anywhere else you would go.
Tell me why rice and peas are so good.
Well, our rice and peas got the original flavor and the original taste of like the real Jamaican rice and beans, so you're not getting any knockoff, you're getting the real stuff.
If you want authentic Caribbean cuisine, think only one place, Curry and Jerk, located in the heart of downtown Memphis at 126 Monroe.
Join the Midday Show this Friday at Landers Ford on Poplar in Collierville. This is your chance to get a free pair of tickets to the World Golf Championship. There are lots of deals on all Ford cars and trucks. Plus, our friends at Moe's will be providing lunch. That's this Friday the 19th from 10 to 1 for free golf tickets and other great prizes. See you there. Landers Ford, 2082 West Poplar Avenue, Collierville.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Well, I'm not feeling any better. Maybe
This music will make you feel better.
No.
Little Funk Friday. Come on.
Chris Raby, where were you? Come on, man.
Just getting ready to pee. Peter Edmiston Experience.
Getting ready to pee. I was like, well, that's fine. You got to take care of that before you get on the air. That's good.
P-E-E.
It's part of it, man. That's part of the experience.
Those are some smooth Friday jams coming back from the break there.
It's
like
It's Funk Friday, Chris. A lot of people don't.
Funk Friday.
Funk Friday. We're taking requests as well. If you want to get those requests in, you can.
Well, it's been a big week. I mean, anytime you see the executive president of the NBA Summer League, hoist that beautiful trophy over his head.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like just yesterday. It was Monday night.
Special. It's a special time. I mean, the parade was a little bit of a bust, but that's all right. You got to get back at it.
Yeah, I told Fish. I was talking to Fish the other day. I told him I think some of the Blues players have yet to dry out. If you need any extra, parade participants.
Brett Hull is still on stage right now.
He's trying to get him off. Trying to get him off stage. Divert attention.
Your number.
That was pretty good.
Oh,
Greatest moment of that week by far.
Oh my God, that the Gloria remix is. You folks at KMOX put a little remix out, right? That was pretty fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was man, quite the week.
So
I'm sure Brett would find a reason to celebrate the Grizzlies Summer League title.
I think I saw. I think a lot of folks have seen Brett 2 and 3 a.m. just celebrating something. A nice good round of golf. So Grizzlies winning the Summer League. Good solid Cardinal regular season victory or a loss, really, either way. There's plenty of reasons to get after it. Has everybody recovered from the? Have you recovered from the magic of that beautiful Blues Stanley Cup?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's like crazy about hockey is that they start like camp at like the end of August, and they start preseason games like the second week of September. So, it goes so long, and you turn around and all of a sudden it's the middle of July, and they will literally be reporting in like 2 months. So good turnaround. Makes a lot of sense, like most things in the NHL. But yeah, that was pretty cool. It kind of reminded me in some ways of some of the excitement around some of the Grizzlies runs 8-9 years ago. Obviously the Blues had made runs in the playoffs before, but it's cool to see like a new generation of fans and see all the young fans who got into it and enjoyed that. So it was quite a run, and yeah, we'll be covering the Blues and Dallas Stars preseason games here in a couple minutes.
Pre-game starts shortly. How do you feel? There was a crotchety, or what I deem to be a crotchety old. I don't know the guy. He's probably a lovely man. I don't know, but a crotchety old hockey news writer who was bemoaning the use of the Stanley Cup in various forms. You know, the tradition of the Stanley Cup, for those that don't know, players typically get a day or two to do whatever they want with it, take it around. And there have been plenty of stories about people using the cup in all manner of ways, both healthy and unhealthy. But it's theirs to do, and it's the same trophy, and it's one trophy, and whatever the hell happens. That's the way it is. And there's one particular hockey writer who was very upset about this and feels that the trophy should be used as more of a respectful way. Do you know of any how have the Blues been taking the respect nature of this trophy? And are you in agreement that we need to venerate the Stanley Cup a little more than we do?
Right, that was the worst take. We found the worst take. We scoured the earth, and we found it.
I thought so. Yeah,
we did it. We did it. Yeah, you're referring to that guy who was upset because like one of the players like let his dog eat or drink out of the Stanley Cup.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever, man. Like the things that happen to that trophy behind closed doors are probably way, 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 way worse than a dog drinking out of it. So
certainly,
I don't know. Let the guys do what they're going to do. Like you work and play and, you know, earn that. And it's kind of like the same thing with the parade. Like some people were appalled that the Blues were drinking the amount of beer that they drank at the parade. And there was, you know, Robert Thomas, who's 19 years old, was drinking beer in the parade. Like that dude just played the Stanley Cup playoffs with a broken wrist and like was really, really good. He should be able to do whatever he wants. It's a trophy. Who cares? Like I didn't
realize there was underage drinking at that parade. I'm suddenly not.
Right,
I'm not a fan now. Yeah.
I think the best like part of it was he was like drinking 2 beers and I was standing right in front of him. And while he was like pouring 2 beers all over him, like a cop was taking a selfie with him in the background, which was awesome. But yeah, just it takes a real take-smith to be upset by what someone is doing with the Stanley Cup. But you know, it's the greatest trophy because you can drink out of it, and I think that all trophies should be at some level drinkable. And any trophy that you can drink from is instantly a much better trophy than otherwise. And it's too bad that, you know, the Grizzlies couldn't take the Summer League trophy all over Vegas and, you know, drink bottles of champagne out of it.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, it is actually a cup, you know, where a lot of trophies they say they're cups, but you can't drink out of them. You can't drink out of the World Cup. You can't drink out of the World Cup.
Functional challenge.
It is a cup of sorts. You can't drink out of the World Cup. You pour stuff all over, it just falls out. What do you have to drip out of the bottle? No, it doesn't work that way. You can actually pour.
You can't drink out of the golden boot.
No, you can't drink out of You can't drink out of the Larry O'Brien trophy. You can't drink out of the Vince Lombardi trophy. You can't drink out of the what is the baseball thing?
It's just like a bunch of like. Bunch of like.
What do they call it though? What do they call it with all the little pennants on it? Who's the I should know this. It's not the O'Brien. What's the?
Why should you know that?
Yeah, we should know the name of that baseball trophy. Right?
Okay, here's a definitive ranking of
what's the baseball
trophies.
trophy? What's the name of it? No. This is. I should know this. This is bad.
I have no idea.
You don't know this? Oh, you should really know this, Chris. It's worse for you.
I don't know. I see so many of them at Busch Stadium. Right? Here's the definitive ranking of sports trophies. Stanley Cup 1, Masters Green Jacket 2.
Not a trophy, but go ahead. It's a jacket.
Well, you know what I mean.
It's a commissioner's trophy, by the way.
The commissioner's trophy. Oh, geez, that's terrible.
Wow, what a great freaking name.
Terrible. Terrible. The
Stanley
Rob
Cup
Manfred
1,
trophy.
Masters Green Jacket 2.
Okay.
Huge gap.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else. Because the fact that you don't know the name, like, you can't do anything cool with the baseball, the NFL, or the NBA trophy. You can't do anything cool with them. You can't wear it. You can't drink out of it.
Now there's a story. There's a story that the one of the Warriors owners, Joe Lacob, apparently involved the Larry O'Brien trophy in something of a 3-way with his wife one night. So I don't know how that would exactly work, but
so they're going to say he
he hit Kyle Lowry with it.
No, this was more of an adventurous sort of thing. I'm thinking. I'm trying to figure out logistically, how we're. I mean, it's possible. You could certainly. I don't know. It was in the bed. Who can say? Listen, they're two consenting adults and one presumably consenting trophy, and so that's
who can say?
Who can say? So they at least tried. I think even that would have been more fun, probably with the Stanley Cup, though.
But you know what? You know what's the other lame thing about all those trophies is that there are a bunch of them, and they make a new one every year. With the Stanley Cup, the only one, and you party with it. And I think like last year, the story was that the Washington Capitals dented it by doing keg stands off of the top of it, and yeah, like it had to be taken in for some serious repairs.
Okay.
But that's kind of the allure of it.
I love it.
Shout out to the Wimbledon platter, also the second place thing.
Yeah, Roger Federer said he said my kids are not going to be impressed with the plate, and
which
right.
I thought was great.
Yeah.
Couldn't you see like Federer's kids just being so disapproving that he came in second? Like he plays this 5-hour match.
You suck, Dad.
And his kids are leaning over the railing. His wife looked like the most angry person in that entire stadium. But yeah, shout out to the platter. I guess the Wimbledon trophy, there's only one of those. You don't get to keep it.
You can't. Apparently, the Wimbledon, they were saying you can't even. You hold it for like the pictures, and then it goes right back. You get it for like 15 minutes, and then you have to put it back into the case. It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
Get it for that party that night, because I bet Novak Djokovic would do some weird stuff if he got to take that thing with him.
Well,
but
pulled the Les Miles, ate that grass, and yeah.
Stanley Cup. Claret jug, the British Open trophy.
You get to keep
that,
and you get to keep that. You get to keep that for a year as well.
Okay, so we're gonna go Stanley Cup, Masters green jacket, Claret jug, everything else.
Here's the other thing that I think, and I agree with you. There are certain qualifications as we kind of gotten into this rabbit hole, but I like it. Number one, I think the fact that talking trophies, the fact that you keep the trophy and there's only one that ups any trophy that qualifies as that right there. So that ups it up the ranking. The second one is I prefer it, whether you get to keep it or not. I prefer the trophy to be comically large. The better you do, the bigger the event, the bigger the trophy should be. I'm very disappointed with the World Cup. It's always very small. It's a very small little trophy, but it's only 4 years. It's a massive event. It's very difficult to get. It should be like ludicrously huge. It should be a like beyond belief. The Stanley Cup is very large and very heavy. And it's so big, and it's so big that like they've had to take rows of names off. Your names are on the trophy. Like they can't put all the names on there, or it would be even bigger. I love that. That it should be hard to lift the thing because it's really, really cool. I don't want some little baby trophy out there, tiny little that knocks the Claret jug down a little bit. That knocks the World Cup down a little bit. I need it to be ridiculously big. Vince Lombardi trophy, you can hold it in one hand. No, I need trophies. You got to have two hands, two-handed.
Yeah, so we're gonna continue to amend our criteria.
Yep.
Gotta be able to drink out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be unique
Yep.
in the fact that you are able to keep it, and then it needs to be to some degree cumbersome.
Yes.
At least just a bit. And like my buddies and I, we go on a golf trip every year, and we made a trophy for the winners. And our first criteria was you have to be able to drink out of it. And
good call.
It's also great for attention because the winning captain of the team that wins has to take it back through the airport with them on the way home and then bring it back to the tournament the next year. And you get a ton of attention because if you just hold it up and start cheering, people in the airport will just start cheering because they think that there is some, legitimacy to
what you're doing.
A bunch of bros walking around holding up a trophy.
What kind of it's like the Vegas commercial where the guys grab some vase.
Those guys stole that from us. Yeah,
and they did that, and they partied all night. Why would any normal human being just walk around with a meaningless trophy?
What happens in Vegas, right? Am I right?
Oh, buddy, come on now. It's a family show.
Sorry, too crude.
Too crude. Get your mind out of the gutter, my friend. Goodness gracious, got a family show here this morning. Chris Raby.
We do have a great
degrading-
trophy, though, and you can drink out of it.
I drank one time. I drank Dr. Pepper out of the President's Cup, the CHL award-winning trophy. So that was a big moment. I didn't feel like
what?
The President's Cup, the CHL, the Central Hockey League winners take home the President's Cup, which is a large trophy that you can in fact drink out of. It is very large. It's not quite as large as the Stanley Cup, but it is large enough to signify something. And I drank out of it. It was there was not one column that I degraded the value of that trophy by drinking Dr. Pepper out of it.
Hockey does it right. I'm telling you, hockey bros do it right. They understand the priorities.
Well, and rightly so. I love it, and I appreciate that the Blues really set a standard at the parade of drunken nonsense that was hard to beat. But Marc Gasol really tried hard, and I give him great credit for that at the Toronto Raptors parade. Mark getting so drunk that he was sitting next to the Prime Minister of Canada and could barely speak, and had to be advised by his teammate Danny Green to shut up, because he was rocking out to some song. He said, "That's my jam, man. That's my jam." He doesn't know that's my jam.
I love it.
That's where you need to be at about 2 p.m. after having achieved a great moment in your career. You should be, virtually blackout drunk. That if you're ever going to be, that's the time to do it.
The most impressive thing, taking that into consideration about the Blues parade, was that the parade took like 4 hours because it's all drinking with people, just walking the entire route. Then they get down to the Arch Grounds and they have the rally on stage. These guys have been literally just drunk for 4 days. And then a charter bus pulls up and they get off the stage and get onto this bus, and it takes them immediately to the private airport across the river, and they flew immediately to Vegas and got to Vegas, the entire team, at like o'clock that night.
It's tremendous, man.
Legendary move.
I mean, that's strong. That's strong. I don't.
Wonder what the old Take Smith, whatever his name was.
Don't tell him.
Would have thought of that.
Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. Hockey's
drinking cups of alcohol.
Oh my God, there was alcohol in those cups. I can't believe it. It was gambling in this casino. It's ridiculous. So with all that, so now has that kind of put I don't know, the summer was made with that. How are people feeling on the Cardinal front at this point?
Well, it was some good camouflage, I think, for a little bit for what the Cardinals were doing or maybe failing to do. But I think that they're kind of in the same boat as almost everyone besides the Dodgers in the National League. I guess that there are a couple of teams playing well, and the Braves are playing pretty well. But, I think everyone is just kind of in the same boat in that you're not really playing great baseball. That's why every team except for the Marlins is still technically in the race right now, a couple of weeks from the trade deadline. So they're playing better right now, 5-2 since the break. I think that, if they get a couple of guys back healthy, that could help as well. But they're just kind of in the mix and just kind of, I don't know, the division's just been kind of boring. The Cubs, the Cardinals, and the Brewers.
I agree.
Each team is kind of at an opportunity to pull away or to create some separation, and nobody has. So, I guess glass half full, you're still in it, and, you're in it without your best players playing like your best players. And if Paul Goldschmidt and Matt Carpenter, get back to even some of their career norms, if they can progress even up to that mean, then you feel pretty good. And glass half empty is, for a season in which the division has been unremarkable, you've been unable to, really do anything to stand out or pull away. So, everyone's just kind of in the same boat. There's only one trade deadline this year, so I wonder if that will lead to maybe even less activity than normal over the next couple of weeks.
Why we just have the one? What happened to the other, the non-mate waiver?
Got rid of the waiver deadline.
Why did we do that?
So, we did not do anything. Major League Baseball.
Why did you do it? How about that? Why did you do it?
Wanted to really just piss you off.
Well, they've done it. Now, prepare for the takes. coming in. It's disrespectful.
But in seriousness, like in the past,
be serious, please. I demand seriousness. Come on, Chris.
Yes, let's stop messing around.
Stop screwing around. Let's talk for real.
You could fire off a take and wait until the end of August.
That's right.
And make a move if the guy got through waivers, but not so fast. No longer. Can't do that anymore. Don't even think about it.
Well, I like it. I like the fact that it's a little more clarity, at least. So that makes it better. Are you?
You're playing for the commissioner's trophy. You can't mess around.
You can't. One of the weirdest look. That trophy's got to be easy to break. All those little flags. I feel like you're just breaking those things left and right. For sure.
Delicate.
The other take related thing that I've seen a lot of here. So I got to go to you on this one. Do we got too many home runs? Are the balls juiced? Are the people juiced? Are you juiced? Are the broadcasters juiced? What's happening juice wise? And we got too many home runs. Is the sport just an absolute boring slog of home runs and strikeouts?
Quite a take.
It was more of a question, but kind of morphed into a take there at the end. I didn't really mean for that to happen, but there we go.
Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame?
I should have thrown that in just to catch it all, but anyway.
Is golf a sport?
Our drivers athletes, our horses athletes, for that matter. Come on.
Rest in peace, 8 Bells.
Barbara, I love you, Barbara.
I think that, especially at the All-Star break, I think the fascinating thing is that players are so willing to, I guess, actually give takes or speak their mind about this stuff, whether it be labor issues or the ball. And you'll hear pitchers, and I guess even position players too, say there's no doubt that the ball is different and harder and the seams are different and that's affecting offense in the game. I think that, more than anything though, part of it, and, you can hear people grumble about, launch angle and this and that. And, one of my favorite things is to hear on broadcasts, people talk about the analytics, like it's a set of witchcraft and wizardry that's
Ouija board in the back
affecting the game. Yeah. Rather than smart people using information to try to gain competitive advantages. But, I think that front offices and teams have embraced the fact that home runs and doubles are good and slugging percentage is really good and hitting the ball on the ground is not good. And regardless of the ball, and if the ball has changed and if Major League Baseball is trying to get more home runs in the game, I just think there's an acceptance throughout the industry for trying to hit for power and then dealing with the consequences of hitting for power. Strikeouts aren't the worst thing, especially if I'm a team in the National League and my pitcher can't bunt, then I would rather him strike out than hit into a double play. I would rather strike out sometimes than hit the ball on the ground when bad things happen. And if I have a guy who might only hit 220 or 230, if he's going to slug 500 or, post an OPS of 800 or 900, then I can live with strikeouts. I think that we're just learning more and more that, to distill it, home runs and extra base hits are really, really good, even to the fact that they are good even when they come with strikeouts. And maybe the ball has something to do with that, but I think players are better and players embrace that and teams embrace that. And it might not lead to the most interesting games, and it might lead to, a lot of strikeouts and a lot of walks. But, I think teams are trying to take advantage of what has been at one point a market inefficiency, and that's going out to find power and realizing that, batting average isn't the end of the world.
Hey, chicks dig the long ball, right? Am I right? Ha ha! Come on,
yeah.
Woo! Get it. Come on.
We found the best take.
There it is.
We found the best take.
Yeah, we've run the full gamut. Well, Chris, it's been a great pleasure to have you on, even if you were late and left your phone on silent.
That
was your fault, not mine.
Late to answer, but never late with a take.
The strength of the takes is made up completely for the lateness of them. So that's what it's all about, and I appreciate that. Chris, enjoy it. Hope go get drunk for the Blues, even though it's been a month or so. Just do it again.
All right, and the IOC is corrupt.
Oh, at the very end. Oh my God, he snuck it in there at the very. I was just trying to hang up on him. It's amazing. How do you get that in there? We'll take a break. We'll come back. I hope that helped you feel better. I think I feel better now.
Yeah, Chris makes you feel
always makes you feel better. Appreciate that. Back after this as we continue here on The Experience. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Check out Dave Voloshin and Brett Norsworthy with Sports Time. Weekdays from 3 till 6 on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Like my hat?
Your hat says meat.
I know, ain't it cool?
It is cool. Where'd you get it?
I thought you'd never ask.
I didn't mean to.
It's just one of the many cool things you can order on Central Barbecue's website, cbqmemphis.com.
You can get a meat hat there?
Or a logo flat bill like all the kids are wearing.
You don't need to be wearing what the kids are wearing.
And tie-dye t-shirts and old school trucker hats and onesies for your baby, all with the Central Barbecue logo on them.
Onesies for your baby?
They got everything at CBQ Memphis, and you can order ribs.
I'll check that out.
We could have matching meat hats.
Memphis's hometown event is being elevated to one of the biggest events on golf's calendar. The World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational makes its debut at TPC Southwind, July 24th through 28th. Don't miss PGA Tour superstars Justin Thomas, Brooks Koepka, and more.
Join me, Dustin Johnson, when I return to TPC Southwind. Tickets are on sale at WGCFedEx.com.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
The best golfers in the world are coming to Memphis for the inaugural WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM will be broadcasting live at TPC Southwind throughout the day, Wednesday through Friday of tournament week, keeping you up to date with the latest tournament news and talking with players and officials. Our coverage from TPC Southwind on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM is presented by Landers Ford. It's also brought to you by Curry and Jerk, Miller Lite, Gatlin Insurance, Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center, and the Half Shell.
No matter what your past credit, no matter how much you owe on your trade, no matter if you tried to buy at another deal and were turned down, Sunrise Buick GMC can get you financed. There's never been a better time to trade. Sunrise has hundreds of new vehicles and over $5 million in used car inventory, specializing in cars and trucks under $10,000. Sunrise has the lowest prices and will not be undersold. Bad credit, bankrupt, slow pay, Sunrise gets you financed when no one else can. Check out the inventory and apply online at sunrisememphis.com. The blowout sale going on now at all Sunrise locations, Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
This is good stuff right here. Who is this?
This is Frankfurt Funk. Never heard of him, but
that's Frankfurt, like Frankfurt, Kentucky, or
yeah.
Frankfurt, Germany. Frankfurt or Frank?
Frankfurt, like Frankfurt, Kentucky. Yeah.
Well, it's Frankfurt.
Oh, never mind then. Never mind. It's not like Frankfurt, Kentucky. Then it's Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, Germany.
Sure.
Is this Deutsches Funk? Funk, Deutsches Funk. Back with you as we wrap up Funky Funk Friday here on the program. And we are all still very annoyed, I think is the fair way to phrase it. Irritated, sad, depressed, upset that Tiger Woods has decided to skip Memphis yet again. He's got a back issue. To be fair, he didn't look very good at all. It was a rough 2 days for him. at the Open Championship. He
was clearly in some pain. There was no question.
No, bogeyed the final hole. He'll finish 6 over par. He is extremely unlikely to make the cut, barring some level of. I mean, I guess it's possible if everyone that's out there on the course just completely collapses, but I think it's virtually impossible. So, and he said afterwards that he's planning to take a couple weeks off, which means he will not be here next week. And the comments were really like, that means he will have only played 2 competitive rounds of golf in the last 7 or 8 weeks before the playoffs. It sounds as if he's really physically so broken down that it's going to take him a while to recover. I wonder if the exertions of winning at Augusta, because what he did after Augusta, he's not really done anything of note at all since winning the Masters in what was a remarkable performance, one of the great performances that we've seen. That event was an all-time great. When Tiger won, how he did it, it was crazy. It's crazy, but we won't see anything like that again. And I wonder, did he ask so much of his body in doing that? Did he prepare himself, and did he give so much in that effort that there's not much left to give? I mean, people kind of thought, okay, he won major number 15. He's back. He's going to be in contention. And he just never really looked anything like being in contention in any of these events after that point. Like, it just never, he's never really, and it's gotten progressively kind of worse, and took some extra time off after the U.S. Open. Didn't play at all until this week. Has looked bad this week. I'm not sure he's ever going to be in Memphis, even with this event being what it is, because I'm not sure physically he's going to be able to do very much. I don't know what's left from Tiger. That may have been, looking back on it now, that may have been his last hurrah, period. I guess we'll find out next year, because I can't imagine him doing a whole lot in the FedEx Cup playoffs. But
it's going to be hard. I'm just trying to picture him playing 3 events in a row.
Well, I mean, if he had played here, it would have been 5 out of 6 essentially, and that's a crazy pace for him. So it's hard to imagine that he would have done that. He finished tied for 21st U.S. Open at Pebble Beach, one of his favorite tournaments, but he was never, in contention or never really in the mix for that. He did have a top 10 at the Memorial, which is okay. For him, not again, another tournament where he typically does extremely well. He missed the cut at the PGA Championship. He just, there hasn't been much on the schedule, and he's put some decent performances together, but it's taken a lot out of him to do that, and he's had to increasingly take all this time off after. I think you can start to kind of see the writing on the wall that, maybe that was just a really one incredibly special, crazy turn of events. Maybe Tiger can turn it on for the Masters every year. That's a particularly, it's going to be an event that is at a course that he absolutely loves. It's also a course that really suits even what's left of his game at this point. The way that he's able to, shape the ball now. He couldn't do much of it at Royal Portrush at all. And he's struggled at some of the other courses. You don't have to deal with the rough where, that can be an issue for the back. There's not much of that at Augusta, so you can deal with that a little bit better. I don't know. It may just be that he's kind of going to be one of those guys that pops up here and there, but for the most part is a non-factor, and he doesn't seem to want to. He said after, in the quote after this, he said, "I'm gonna take a couple weeks off," but he also said, "I just want to go home." That doesn't strike me as a guy that is ready for anything close to turn. He's played 10 events this year. I mean, that's a part-time golfer.
Yeah, it's so weird to think about getting to this point with Tiger. You're watching him when he was younger and his dominance. You just never thought, it's like, oh man, this is going to be a dynasty for years to come. And now it's like, wow, we are literally talking about a possible quote unquote quasi-retirement for one of the greatest golfers to ever play the game. It's so weird. Golf is not going to be the same without him in it the majority of the time.
I don't know, man. It just felt like a goodbye, or it felt like watching. This was similar to when the back was really, really bad for him, and he was just struggling. I mean, he's made a remarkable comeback to get to this point where he's able to dial it up on from time to time at these weeks, but This felt closer to 3 or 4 years ago when he's like struggling to get shots over the water for like 100 yards out. I mean,
you never heard Tiger talk about wanting to go home before.
He just sounds. I'm sure it took a lot out of him, the preparation for Augusta and all that. I'm sure it took a lot. And I just doesn't. And I don't blame him, man. The guy's won 15 majors. He's won all the money in the world. He's done all. I mean, what? I wouldn't blame him a bit for saying, you know what, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need this anymore. I don't blame him a bit. So yeah, he's 42, 43. It's not like he's old, but geez. Nonetheless, it's going to be a great event. Going to be a great event either way. Top 47 of the top 50 that are out there. Coming up next, middays. Greg and Eli going to join from Landers. They'll be over at Landers Ford.
They're giving away some more tickets to this golf tournament. As a matter of fact,
and you're going to want to go over there because it's going to be great. And I think it will be the experience. I mean, it may be even better for the fans to some extent because you're not going to have that crazy overflow Tiger crowd that don't really know golf but just know Tiger. You won't see that. You'll just see it'd be good for the fans out there to see the best golfers in the world. And sadly, Tiger is not among that group at this point. So Greg and Eli over there, win those tickets at Landers Ford. I'll be there next week as well for some of our Van Hit giveaways. So it's going to be a lot of fun. CJ will be back on Monday. Thank you very much, Austin. Thanks, Chris Raby. Thanks to all you guys for listening, calling the program. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. If you're in need of a roof, there's no better place to start than Five Ash Roofing. No matter what your situation is, we have you covered. We can walk you through the insurance process without committing fraud like many of my competitors. You'd be surprised how many times salesmen and contractors will manufacture storm damage just so they can get a sale. We do residential, multifamily, and commercial work. We're certified in every form of roofing we offer. Our labor warranties are for the life of the shingle, and we don't charge extra for that. And to my knowledge, there's no other roofing company in Memphis offering that level of security. And if that's not enough, we offer a best price guarantee. We are the official roofer of the University of Memphis Athletic Department and a proud member of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County